on My 20. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas on My 20. It's Houston Astros baseball. Tonight, the Astros open a 3-game series with the first place Milwaukee Brewers. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays. The Astros have won 4 in a row. The Brewers, even though they have a 7.5 game lead, have lost 3 in a row as they meet tonight, JD.
Yeah, Brewers swept at home by the St. Louis Cardinals, so the Cardinals still with a faint heartbeat in this race in the National League Central. Tonight we profile a couple of slugging first basemen, a couple of big burly guys playing first sack in this series. Prince Fielder for the Brewers having an MVP-type season. Boy, and he's done a lot of damage against the Astros. 5 of his 30 home runs have come against the Astros this year. He's hitting .468 against Astros pitching. You come inside on him, you better make sure you get it in there with something on it. Carlos Lee not having a great year, but really getting things rolling in the second half. 12-game hitting streak now for Carlos, hitting well over 400 during that stretch. Has not done a lot against the Brewers so far this year, but really swinging the bat well, showing some power, taking his walks, really having a nice second half, turning around what was a subpar year for him.
Coming up as this 3-game series begins, Lucas Harrell makes his Astros debut against Zach Greinke. That's the opener of a 3-game series. It's coming your way next.
And that's coming up right here Astros are on the field. Lucas Harrell is taking his final warm-up tosses. So let's go to the booth where Bill Brown and Jim DeShays will have the call.
Thank you, Greg. All three of these games this weekend come your way, by the way, on my 20. Tomorrow night, an earlier start at 6:05. Sunday, a 1:05 start as the Brewers pay their final trip to Minute Maid Park, where they are 4-2 this season. They swept a 3-game series here just about a month ago. And as Lucas Harrell makes his Astros debut, he will face this starting lineup for Ron Renicky. Corey Hart, the leadoff man with a 14-game hitting streak, is in right field. It's Niger Morgan in center field. Ryan Braun in left field. The first baseman is Prince Fielder with Casey McGee at third base. Yuniesky Betancourt at short. Jerry Hairston Jr. at second. Jonathan Lucroy, the catcher. Zach Greinke, the pitcher.
Lucas Harrell, a right-hander, goes for the Astros tonight. You take a look at his numbers between AAA Charlotte of the White Sox organization and Oklahoma City, and very good work for Lucas. 12-5, 2.63 ERA through 21 starts, and was really on a roll after joining the Astros. 5-2, $1.72 his ERA at Okie City.
First pitch for the Astros, ball one to Corey Hart. 14-game hitting streak for Hart, .397 during those 14. He's been leading off since the Ricky Weeks injury. Fouls back the fastball. That goes up on the board at 92 miles per hour for Harrell, who's from Springfield, Missouri.
92 to 94 with the fastball. He'll sink it. He'll cut it. Curveball and the changeup as well.
Now it's a 2-1 strike count. Harrell pitched quite well, both at Oklahoma City and at Charlotte in the AAA ranks this season. Ground ball third. Jimmy Paredes spins around, takes extra time, throws, and just does get hard. Almost took too much time. And down.
And difficult hop there for Paredes, and ultimately able to make the play. Let's take a look at the rest of the Astros. Outfield of Martinez, Schaefer, Bogasevic. You saw Paredes make a fine play. He's joined by Barmas, Altuve, and Lee on the infield. And Humberto Quintero with a chance to work with Lucas Harrell. I'm sure they had a nice lengthy meeting in the clubhouse going over his approach and how they wanted to get these Brewer hitters, including Niger Morgan / Tony Plush.
Ball one to Tony Plush, a .306 hitter with 3 homers, 32 runs batted in. That's his alter ego, the confident side of Niger Morgan. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Brewers have allowed him to be himself. They told him to be himself when they got him from the Washington Nationals. And his personality has added some life to their ball club, according to stories.
He's a fun guy, especially when you're winning. Now, if they were 20 games below 500, it might wear a little thin.
Swings at that one, and it's 2-2. Like a pretty good changeup there from Harrell. He has a good sinker. He gets a lot of double play balls on the ground.
He had not allowed a single home run while pitching for Oklahoma City.
Comes right back and gets it.
I like that.
Yes, sir. Good start for him. He was with the White Sox for 3 games earlier this year and a few games last year.
Good straight changeup. Really sells it with the hand speed. Looks like the fastball coming out and then just dives at about 80 miles an hour. So he gets a lot off of it, too. We see a lot of guys with the difference between their fastball and the changeup isn't that much, but a nice separation there. From a 92 mile an hour heater with sink to an 80 mile an hour changeup with similar movement.
One of the MVP candidates in the National League is Ryan Braun, who looks at strike one. He's second in the batting race at .331. He has 25 homers, 89 runs batted in. Third in on base average, leading in slugging percentage, and a big year for Ryan Braun. They had some fun with him after he did the face plant, trying for an inside the park homer a couple of days ago. Brought out the crime scene tape.
Twice a double face plant between third and home. Hey, Dana DeMuth's got a little bit of a tight zone historically. Boy, he and Fielder, a great 1-2 punch. And both have done a lot of damage against the Astros this year. What new?
Yeah. Breaking pitch goes low, and it's a 2-ball, 1 strike count to Braun. You saw those great numbers for him against the Astros, and just had great numbers against a lot of clubs this year on his way to already a 2020 season. 5 more homers gives him a 30-30 season. He would become the second Brewer to do that. Pitch in the dirt. That makes it 3-1 to Braun. He's made 4 straight All-Star teams now. Harrell last pitched for Oklahoma City on Saturday against Iowa, so he's working with an extra day of rest. Pitched very well. 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, no earned runs. He walked 6 and 7. A ball there makes it a full count to Braun.
Here's what we're talking about. Braun going for an inside the park home run. Sniper gets him, and then he gets up, and then the sniper gets him again.
And he's out.
That's when he's laughing while he's in the rundown. Needed to call a timeout.
That is beautiful. Foul back. Still 3-2 to Braun.
A different arm angle there from Harrell, dropping down a little bit.
Yes. Luke is 26 years old, a 4th-round pick of the White Sox in 2004, a waiver claim for the Astros in July of this year. Pitched 8 times for the White Sox last year. Most of the year he was at AAA Charlotte. Rolled out to second base. Jose Altuve makes it a 1-2-3 first for Lucas Harrell. Welcome to the Astros with a scoreless, hitless first inning. Brad Mills begins with Jordan Schaefer, the center fielder. Jose Altuve's at second base. J.D. Martinez plays left field. Carlos Lee at first base is on a 12-game hitting streak. With Brian Bogasevic in right field. Jimmy Paredes at third base. Clint Varmas, the shortstop. Humberto Quintero is a catcher for Lucas Harrell.
Zach Greinke, right-hander, goes for the Brewers tonight. Check out this breakdown. Home road, 10-0 in 12 home starts with a 2.96 ERA on the road. He's 3-5. With a 5.56, kind of mirroring what the Brewers have done. They've been the best home team in all of baseball this year, but have really struggled on the road. Not so much lately. And Greinke overall having a nice year, 13-5 with a 4.05, and 6-2 with an ERA in the low 2s since the All-Star break.
Jordan Schaefer first up. He takes the fastball, and it's strike one for Greinke. Schaefer has put together a 4-game hitting streak. His average at 253 with 2 homers, 12 runs batted in. He's hit very well as an Astro. 12 for 37 for a 324 average in 10 games with the Astros with a homer and 5 runs batted in. And he credited Jimmy Williams with working with him on his bunting. Came up with a bunt RBI single in the 4th inning Wednesday night. And the Astros 2-0 win over Pittsburgh. That's on one hop, backhanded. Betancourt with the throw and the stretch. Fielder, 1 out.
Well, the Brewers defensively set up this way this evening. Braun, Plush, Hart in the outfield. McGee, Betancourt, Hairston, Fielder cover the infield. Jonathan Lucroy is the backstop.
Greinke, once he got it rolling, has been good. 13-5 with a 4.05, JD.
Yeah, he's got a good arm, boy. Fastball, curveball, slider, change. Really knows how to pitch. The strikeout numbers are outstanding. 162 in 135 and 2/3 innings.
Altuve bounces it on 2 hops. It goes to Hairston. 2 outs for Greinke.
A little bit of a late start for Greinke, of course. He was hurt early on in spring training in a pickup basketball game. A rib injury, fractured left rib. He did not make his debut until May 4th. Doug Melvin doing some very good work acquiring Greinke, Sean Markham, really solidifying this rotation. He's been able to score runs for the last few years. Pitching has been an issue.
JD Martinez takes strike 1. Guess who's back? Red Wallace and Chris Johnson on the September call-ups there on the rail. Astros called up 7 players. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to JD Martinez, who drove in 28 runs in the month of August, ranked 2nd in the National League and 4th in the majors. Brad Mills' lineup has included a very productive number 3 hitter who hits a curveball in the air to left center field. Braun handling out number 3. We have a scoreless, hitless first inning.
History. It was a strange situation on this date in 1971. Trailing 3-2 to the Dodgers, Cesar Cedeno rips a 170-foot inside the park grand slam. Needless to say, that was a funny play. The Astros win that game, ultimately 9-3.
Boy.
MD Anderson making cancer history. I'm going to look that one up.
Yeah, see exactly what happened on that. Maybe some people collided on that one.
Yeah, Jim Lefevre did.
Okay.
And Billy Buckner.
Strike 1 to Fielder. 292 for Prince. 30 homers, 103 runs batted in. He has been ripping his way through a fine year. And Fielder has a 405 on base average. He and Braun rivals for that MVP honor. And of course, there are others in the mix as well. 1 ball, 1 strike. But these 2 teammates have really done it this year. And Fielder against the Astros has hit .468 with 5 homers, 14 runs batted in.
One of the really impressive duos in all of baseball right now. Hard to come up with a better pair.
It is. They complement each other so well. Both high on base average guys.
Maybe Zonka and Kick. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they were. So Zonka blocking for Kick. It would be Fielder blocking for Braun, right? Fielder's the fullback, Braun's the tailback. Flashes a line drive to right field. That's in for a hit in front of Bogusevic.
Big man doesn't get cheated.
Not at all.
What do they call the hand signal they got there?
Ball?
Get a name for that. Beast, maybe?
Okay. Casey McGee was a laggard as far as the offensive contributions, but he has come around. He's driven in 63 runs with 11 homers and a .239 average. Had a rough first half of the season. He takes off the plate, ball 1 to McGee in this 5 spot behind Braun and fielder. He's an important contributor to the Milwaukee offense, which is 5th in the league in runs scored. Last year he was the Brewers MVP. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Harrell getting the start tonight because Brett Myers is away from the club. His 4th child was born, and Brett pitched in relief Wednesday night. Before leaving, he'll be back in the rotation Tuesday night at Pittsburgh. Harrell's off the plate with that one, and it's a 3 ball, no strike count for Lucas. He was on a AAA state championship team in Springfield, Missouri, Ozark High School. Played basketball as well in high school.
He's got a tough lineup to contend with, and he's got a tough strike zone to deal with too.
3-1. Dana DeMuth decides what's a ball and what's a strike tonight. McGee drove in 102 last year. That set a Milwaukee club record for a third baseman. Brewers were just swept in a 3-game series at home by St. Louis.
First and only time that's happened this year.
Schaefer's over in right center, handling out number 1. A 3-1 pitch to both fielder and McGee. Turns out differently. And now we're hearing that his name is pronounced Yunieski Betancourt. That's the latest pronunciation for this shortstop from Cuba. 251, 10 homers, 55 runs batted in. Silent T on the end.
Oh, like the Colbert Report.
Yeah, and we had heard it was Yunieski, but that's not quite right. Yunieski.
Yunieski.
Yeah.
Well, that makes more sense.
Okay. That's ball 1. Well, he's hit .362 against the Astros this season. 1 homer, 11 runs batted in.
He's had a couple real big games. He's a bit of a free swinger. Doesn't walk much. But, you know, he's dangerous. Got a little pop. 10 home runs.
Had a very big series here a month ago. 4 hits in one game and 3 in the next. He had a total of 8 hits in that series and 14 at bats. Drove in runs in all 3 games for a total of 4 in that 3-game series.
Makes this Brewer lineup so good. We talk obviously a lot about Fielder and Braun, but it's a very deep lineup. Milwaukee 5th in the league in runs scored.
They're second in total bases.
But it's a tightly bunched grouping there. They've scored 609 runs, 3 behind Arizona, 4 ahead of the Phillies. So when you take a look at the playoff teams, the likely playoff teams, I would put Milwaukee's lineup right there with anybody and probably favor them over any of the other clubs in the National League offensively.
Especially when they get Ricky Weeks back.
Yeah.
3-1 now, so 3-1 has been the count on the first 3 hitters in this inning for Harrell. Hairston's on deck. Betancourt drove in 78 last year for Kansas City and then came along with Zach Greinke in the trade over the winter for 3 players. That pitch is on appeal, ball 4. Now 2 on, 1 out for Hairston.
A little runner moving in on Betancourt. He started a swing but was able to check it. Again, he's a guy who's walked just 15 times now, so he's looking to swing the bat there. But able to lay off. Here's the look at the pennant races. Very comfortable lead for the Phillies. And even though losing 3 in a row to the Cardinals, the Brewers still well out in front of St. Louis. San Francisco in probably a must-sweep situation as they host the Diamondbacks this weekend.
Very important stretch of games coming up for Milwaukee. After this series, the Brewers go to St. Louis, and then they play the Phillies at home. 4 games with the Phillies.
Oh, that's a cross up.
Good grief. That hit him in the left shoulder.
No, I think he got leather on it.
Ooh. Well, first time working together. Here's what happens.
He was looking for some kind of a slider or breaking ball, and he gets the fastball, and fortunately able to pull the hand out. Unfortunately, it cost him a strike because that ball was right there.
Yeah, it was there.
But it's difficult to pin that one on the umpire. And now Barmas wants to know what they're going with. Middle infielders need to know so they can anticipate. Hitters more likely to pull a changeup or a breaking ball than a fastball away, so they obviously need to know what the pitch is.
Hairston lays off, and he's worked his way into a 2-0 count with Lucroy on deck. Hairston's filled in capably at second for the injured Ricky Weeks. Milwaukee 267 with runners in scoring position. Second to St. Louis is 292.
Hairston a 308 hitter since joining the Brew Crew. That's a good pitch there. He can throw that one a lot. Pitching, we talk so much about setting hitters up and trying to fool them. But when you can sink the ball, keep it around the knees at 91, 92 like that, you can throw that pitch an awful lot.
Hairston was traded by Washington on July 30th for a minor league outfielder as the Brewers went shopping for a replacement for Weeks. They tried Felipe Lopez. He didn't take hold. That's a good pitch, too, and it's 2-2.
Yeah. And again, if you're Hairston, and Hairston's been in the league a long time, he knows what's going on here. Harrell's trying to get him to hit the ball on the ground to get a double play and get out of the inning, so he didn't want to offer it that one until he absolutely has to.
Hairston had an injury of his own after he joined the Brewers, a broken right wrist. It's 3-2.
Because that time trying to get a little precise with it, trying to shoot that sinker over the outside corner instead of being willing to just throw it over the plate with a good downward movement. Now he's put himself in a situation where the Brewers are likely running here on 3-2 to stay out of the double play. Nope.
And he fouls. JD mentioned the Brewers had much worse road fortunes early in the year than lately. They're 31-38 away from Miller Park, but 10-3 on the road in August. And so they seem to have erased that big bugaboo of how they were so much better at home than on the road. They're 50-19 at Miller Park. Best home winning percentage in the league. Foul back.
Give the Cardinals credit. They went in there and swept them in the 3-game set to keep their faint hopes flickering a little bit. But if the Brewers just play 500 ball the rest of the way, the Cardinals are going to have to go 20-5 to tie them. So the Brewers are in great shape as long as they don't panic.
Bounce slowly, third base side, and foul. Pretty good battle right here between Hairston and Harrell. The Brewers are 9-3 against the Astros this season. Last year, Milwaukee had a similar record to Houston's. The Brewers were 1 game better than the Astros last year. So it happened very quickly in the Greinke trade, bringing over Markham, as JD mentioned as well. 2 key moves that have allowed this Milwaukee club to improve by so much. Keeping Fielder when he could have been traded. Bouncer, slow roller. Here's the play from Paredes, and out at first on a very close call. Hairston is retired. Fielder moving to third, and Betancourt to second.
Brett is 2 for 2 tonight. He's had 2 difficult plays to make. One sharply hit where he had to handle the backhand, tough in between hop. And now he has to come hard for this slow roller. And Doug Brocail going to come out and have a chat with his right-hander. He's got a base open. Got pitcher on deck. The pitcher, Zach Greinke, is a pretty good hitter, though.
Yes. But
Lucroy is well above average for an 8-hole hitter. So a lot to talk about and discuss here.
It really is. Lucroy at 278. 10 homers, 54 runs batted in, 14 doubles out of the number 8 spot.
The conversation was probably along the lines of, well, a couple of things. Let's put him on and go after Greinke. If not that, it was, let's try to get him out, but if you get behind, fall behind, you don't have to give in. If you end up walking him, it's not the end of the world.
That's a high strike call. Lucroy, 25 years old. Catching situation in very good hands. Lucroy and George Kataris. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. The Brewers have won 26 of their last 34. Had a terrific month of August this year.
21-7. The pitching really, after the All-Star break, leading the way. I mean, they could still score plenty of runs, but their pitching has been outstanding.
Yeah, that's been the difference. Earlier this year, they were struggling in that department. They had a 7-game losing streak at one point. 2-2.
Nice job. But doing exactly what you would ask a pitcher to do in a quote-unquote pitch around situation. Just trying to make good quality pitches. Pitchers perfect. Toy boat. Perfect pitchers pitches.
You got it.
Not giving in to the fat part of the plate. Working that outside edge. Realizing that the hitter's up there thinking, I got the pitcher on deck. I've got to try to drive these runs in.
Too far out, and it's a full count now.
That was an imperfect pitcher's pitch.
Yeah. And now can he get it close enough to get a swing from Lucroy without catching a lot of the plate? Lucroy's walked 20 times. And if not, it's Greinke.
Really haven't set up to come in if they want. I mean, working him away, throwing him sliders off the plate. Again, there's not a lot of history with Harrell and Quintero, so Q's not sure what Harrell's comfortable doing, what he can make the ball do. If he can get it in there on command, they're going to try. Good job.
And a liner back to Harrell. He's out of the second inning with no runs a hit. 2 men left in scoring position and a 0-0 game. put together a 12-game hitting streak, and he's hit .457 during the last 12. Greinke throws strike one to him. 276 for Carlos, 13 homers, 75 runs batted in to lead the club. He went 6 for 12 in the Pirates series with a homer and drove in 4.
Oh, he's been on a real nice roll. Multi-hit in each of the last 5 ball games. A couple of 3-hit games, 3 2-hit games.
His career high hitting streak was 28 games in the big leagues. 2 balls, 1 strike. Carlos starting for the 29th time at first base in the last 31 games. Shoots that one into right field. 13-game hitting streak for El Caballo.
They keep a hitting streak alive. Just settle for a little single early in the game. Try to hit the ball out of the ballpark. I think what's given you. He has not had a lot of success off Greinke. He's 2 for 14 before that swing.
Greinke in his 2 previous starts against the Astros pitched extremely well in both. He's 2-0 with a 1.20 ERA. Lee the base runner, Bogusevic the batter. Ryan at 288 has 4 homers. He's taking it at strike one. 14 runs batted in for Bogusevic with Paredes on deck. Ryan was 3 for 11 with an RBI in the Pirates series. He's driven in 10 in his last 13 games. Greinke delivers, and it's ball one. Zach, 27 years old, a Cy Young Award winner in 2009 with Kansas City, and an All-Star that year. He was 16-8 with a 2.16 ERA. 4 years after, going 5-17 with a 5.80. One and two. Outstanding stuff for Zach Greinke, a first-round pick in 2002 by the Royals, the 8th player drafted that year from Orlando, Florida. He played shortstop and first in high school, as well as pitching. Into left field, Bogusevic hits it by Betancourt, and it's back-to-back singles with nobody out here in the Astros second. Jimmy Paredes will be next.
Bogusevic, like Lee before him, willing to go the other way, just shoot one through the hole.
Paredes, 297, 2 homers, 13 runs batted in. Went 3 for 10 in the Pittsburgh series. He's driven in 6 runs in his last 9 games. Betancourt and Hairston setting up in a double play situation to try to turn 2. Paredes is fast. Showing bunt. He takes ball one. In some cases, the Astros will give the hitter a sign in a situation like this, giving him the option, but they want him to advance both runners, whether it's by bunt or not. Sometimes it's up to him. And sometimes he does get a bunt sign. He lays it down. Greinke bobbles, recovers. He did a juggling act and got the out at first. He had a play at third, but he didn't handle it cleanly.
It was in too much of a hurry. He was on the ball in a hurry and did not have to be all that quick to get Carlos. He might have been able to even get 2. Unlikely with Paredes going down the line. He's a very good athlete, so it's going to take a real good bunt, if not for the mishandle, to get the job done. You see the frustration. He knew he had Carlos, and you see all the time he's got. All the time in the world. He could have run over there, probably beat him to the bag.
Looking, and the ball was behind him. Now runners at second and third for Clint Barmas, 1 out.
Strategy we've seen more and more from the Astros, and maybe just with young players, just giving them an opportunity to contribute in a small way. But normally you don't see a 6-hole hitter bunt in that situation. As your lineup softens down towards the bottom, you're counting on those guys to drive in big runs for you.
Barmas takes a tough pitch for a strike. Clint had the night off Wednesday, and then yesterday a scheduled day off for the ball club. He went 2 for 8 in that Pirates series. A chance to give the Astros the lead here. And he is 4 for 7 lifetime against Greinke with an RBI. 1-2.
Now this, I mean, Barmas becomes the key guy in all this. If Greinke gets him out, punches him out, pops him up without a run scoring, then he's going to have the same options that Harrell had last inning. He can pitch around Quintero, put him on, go after Harrell if he wants.
Good stop there by Lucroy. 2-2. All along, the Brewers made it apparent they were going for it this year with the trades they made, but keeping Fielder, ramping up the payroll to $90 million, which is a high for their history. This is the year they've been pointing for. 3-2 now as Barmas watches that one.
Yeah, and they've got a very solid club. You'd have to make them an underdog in a series against the Phillies because of that Philly pitching. But it wouldn't be a shocker if the Brewers were to beat the Phillies in a playoff series.
No. Nice work by Barmas. He accepts the walk. Greinke trying to get him to chase. Pitches off the plate. He wasn't biting. Now it is up to Quintero with the bases loaded and 1 out, and a double play possibility here for Milwaukee. Sometimes a guy like Barmas can be a little over anxious in a situation like that to drive in those runs, realizing the factors that you mentioned, JD, but he takes his 34th walk, and now it's Q batting.
I think a guy with Greinke's stuff kind of take your aggressiveness away a little bit, where you just have to go into an at bat regardless of the situation of outs and bases and think, I just got to battle this guy. He's one of the best guys in the league. He's got outstanding stuff. Can't afford to get too greedy here.
Quintero lays off the slider. And that's ball 1 to Q, who was 0 for 3 with an RBI in that Pittsburgh series. The official scorer reviewed the play involving Quintero's little tap in front of the plate in the 4th inning Wednesday night. And later he was credited with an RBI. There was a play when Jimmy Paredes saw the catcher couldn't get back Doman, and he scored on the play. It was a bad throw behind him. Now 2-0 with Harrell on deck. Quintero has gone 6 for 18 in his last 5 games. Harrell there, and a third catcher, J.R. Tolles, has been added to the September roster today.
Q usually looks to go the other way, but every now and then he'll try to turn on a ball in a hitter's count.
Now 3-0.
Greinke keeps shooting for that outside corner. Can't find it. Found it once, but didn't get the call. The other 2 times he's missed.
Quintero has hit .370 against Milwaukee this season, driving in 4. And that's a strike. 3-1 with the switch hitting pitcher, Harrell on deck. Picture this, a Houston Grand Slam.
Maybe 170 footer.
Wouldn't that be fun? With Q running. Ground ball up the middle. There's a backhand. Harrison button caught, and that's the double play Greinke was looking for to end the 2nd inning. With no runs, 2 hits, and a couple of men left. It's 0-0 after 2.
Here tomorrow, celebrate Hispanic Heritage Night with the Astros. The Astros will battle the Brewers. The celebration includes a free post-game concert with the reggaeton duo Chino y Nacho. Your game ticket is your ticket to the concert, and tickets are available at astros.com/Nacho. And of course, there's a big story about, that's his favorite group. Chino y Nacho is Altuve's listed favorite, so I'm sure he'll hang around to catch some of the action.
They're on his iPod. You'll get a chance to hear him in person tomorrow night. Well, both pitchers had stressful second innings, but it's scoreless now, moving to the third. Zach Greinke leading off with a 189 average, 1 homer, 1 RBI, 7 hits and 37 at bats for Greinke. Taking strike one.
Yeah, his skills were wasted in the American League. Didn't get to hit much, only in interleague play.
Goes for that high pitch, puts it in the air, and it drifts back foul. No balls, 2 strikes. He's a 180 career hitter, 2 career home runs. One of them came at Arizona in 05 off Russ Ortiz. Another one earlier this year off Jason Marquis against Washington. Takes that one, and it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. The Astros have had 7 straight quality starts, and their starters the last 7 games have combined for a 1.76 ERA. Bounced slowly, charged by Barmes. 1 out.
Yeah, they've only allowed 14 runs total in the last 7 ball games. Do the math. That's an average of 2 per game.
And the Astros have won 5 of those 7. So no real secret why they've been successful lately. Jamie Quirk has some extra talent in the bullpen tonight.
He does, and he has a little bit of a history with Lucas Harrell too. Harrell was a member of the 2009 U.S. team that played in the World Cup, and Jamie was the third base coach for that club. Jason Castro also was a catcher with that team. And, this guy's got a chance to reunite here this afternoon. Good portion of that club is now in the big leagues.
Corey Hart with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. That one's in on him. That's a good place to pitch Corey. 1-2.
Well, he's been hot lately.
Yeah, his numbers every time he's hit leadoff in the past have been good, better than when he hits down in the order. Big angular guy who can reach out and extend those arms and hit a pitch off the plate hard somewhere. He has a .512 slugging percentage, so he gives the Brewers that bonus of a leadoff guy who can drive the ball. 23 homers, 16 doubles.
Yeah, and that's what they have when they have Ricky Weeks healthy and leading off as well. He hits a bunch of home runs out of the leadoff spot.
Foul back. He could be back as soon as next week from what we were hearing. The Brewers just want to make absolutely sure that Ricky's ankle is healed from the ankle injury. He had some tendon damage with that badly sprained ankle weeks ago. Now for quite some time. That's kind of a weak swing, and that late breaking slider works for strikeout number 2 for Harrell.
Just a good job of moving the ball in and out on Corey Hart. You see it right there. You see the way he's worked him. Starting him away, then taking a couple shots inside with the fastball, and then ultimately coming back away with the slider.
Well, you mentioned that earlier, that Quintero's working with him for the first time. You see Ricky Weeks. So now Q has found out he can come inside to be successful, setting him up. So we'll see what happens as Nigel Morgan takes strike one.
And that would be part of the information that was conveyed from AAA to the Major League staff. I'm sure Bert Hooton, Tony DeFrancesco, the AAA manager, hey, look, this kid he works both sides of the plates. Don't be afraid to ask him to come inside on a right-handed hitter. He'll get it in there.
T. Plush takes ball 2. It's 2 balls and a strike to Nigel Morgan.
And sometimes that's the challenge for a young pitcher, is to be able to not just acquiesce to what the catcher's asking you to do all the time. If you feel like, you know what, don't forget about my changeup or my slider, whatever it is. Catcher cannot be expected to know a guy stone cold the first time, a couple innings into it.
Sure. Justin Verlander is pitching beauty for Detroit, 8-0. Tigers lead the White Sox, bottom of the 5th inning. Verlander strong, not only Cy Young candidate, but MVP candidate this year. Has a 2.32 ERA. John Danks got the start for the White Sox. Big game for them, as they're trying to catch Detroit. And that race in the AL Central looking very much like Detroit's race right now, with a 5.5 game lead over Cleveland and Chicago.
Verlander closing in on his 21st win.
Still 2-2.
Well, working awfully hard there in that 2nd inning, up to 61 pitches now.
That's pull foul. In his last start for Oklahoma City 6 days ago, Lucas threw 123 pitches, and that's his high pitch count for the season. He's worked 126 2/3 innings this year so far. Little nubber, barehanded, he throws, and a good play by Harrell. He had to be quick with the speedy Morgan running, and he got him for a 1-2-3 third to keep this game scoreless.
Breakfast platter for just $2.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. And by AT&T. Rethink possible.
It's 0-0. Lucas Harrell gets in the batter's box for the first time as a big leaguer, a switch hitting pitcher. And Zach Greinke pumps in a fastball for strike one. Harrell's facing the Brewers for the first time in his career. Only his second career appearance against a National League team. Greinke's pitching him tough here. It's no balls, 2 strikes. Entering 2007, Harrell was ranked by Baseball America as the White Sox number 8 prospect, but then he missed a season with shoulder surgery. Wicked breaking ball, and he's a strikeout victim. 1 out. First strikeout for Greinke.
It's amazing how many times you see it where a pitcher seems to make his best pitches with the opposing pitcher up there, where he's just relaxed and comfortable. He's not trying to overthrow, and he knows he's got the upper hand.
Yeah. Jordan Schaefer grounded a shortstop in the first inning. Yankees lead Toronto 3-2 after 5 at Yankee Stadium with Ivan Nova on the mound. Brett Gardner hit his 6th home run. Brandon Morrow got the start for the Blue Jays. That's out into right center field. A looping hit, and that'll roll for a while. So will Jordan Schaefer. He's into second, getting a stop sign from Dave Clark with a 1-out double. And a 5-game hitting streak for Schaefer. Double number 7.
Stays back nicely on this Greinke curveball. Really a nice 0-0 pitch. Just float a curveball up there, trying to drop one in for strike one. But Schaefer, that's a great look at his swing, boys. He keeps the head back. Nice balance.
Jose Altuve bunts in the air off the screen. There's strike one to Jose. He grounded out the second in the first inning.
Go ahead, Jose. Drive him in. You're a good hitter.
Well, he drove in a run the last time he faced Greinke. And Zach beat the Astros here August 7th, and that was the only run Greinke allowed in 7 innings of work. Boston's getting creamed by Texas 8-0 in the 5th at Fenway. Ball makes it 0-2. Red Sox with a half-game lead over the Yankees. What a race. Ian Kinsler at his 24th long ball for the Rangers. David Murphy, number 8.
Leadoff power. Kinsler, my goodness.
24 homers, and let's see how many runs batted in. 65 from the leadoff man. Derek Holland's on the mound. Pitch way up. 1-2, and Andrew Miller got shelled for the Red Sox, giving up 5 hits and 6 earned runs in 1 1/3 innings. The Red Sox-Yankee series just concluding. And the Yankees trying to grab first. Bounced by the mound and trickling behind second base. There's a sliding stop by Hairston. He prevents the run from scoring. On a little trickler behind second for an infield hit for Altuve. Greinke had fallen off to the first base side.
Greinke threw one of those Roy Oswalt really slow curveballs. Really spins it up there, and Altuve, like Schaefer before him, able to stay back long enough. Good play by Hairston, realizing there's no out to be had, but leaving his feet to keep that ball in the infield and preventing that run from scoring.
Yes. Very heady play. And the infielders are moving in with J.D. Martinez the batter, first and third and 1 out. Martinez is hitting over 400 with men in scoring position. He hit a fly ball to left in the first. And he said in an article in the Houston Chronicle he just seems to concentrate more when there are men in scoring position. It's been a pattern for him. Fake to third, a look to first. Altuve holding on there. Dave Clark is giving a series of signs. Atlanta leads the Dodgers 5-2. They're in the bottom of the 4th in Atlanta. In the dirt, good block, but the runner comes down and now stops. That's good work by Schaefer. He wanted to make sure that he gave himself a chance to score if that ball kicked further away from Lucroy than it did.
Lucroy pretty good back there already. He'll have more chances with Greinke with that good breaking pitch. There's a lot of pressure on the catcher with a speedy guy like Schaefer on third base.
1-0 to Martinez with Carlos Lee on deck. And he shoots that one first base side, fouling out of play. 1-1 to JD. In the season series, Milwaukee has averaged 5.6 runs per game. Houston 3.3. Martinez takes that one. The count runs to 2-1. JD's hitting .433 with men in scoring position. 13 hits and 30 at bats. Get a ball up in the air, he could at least score Schaefer on a fly ball from third. That one's down, and it's 3-1. Martinez went 0 for 3 against Greinke about a month ago when Zach pitched here. Brewers starters have the 5th best ERA in the league. Got him to chase a breaking pitch and foul tip it. It's 3-2 now. Cincinnati laid a 5 spot on St. Louis. It's 5-2 Reds, bottom of the 2nd at Busch Stadium with Johnny Cueto on the mound. Altuve wise to the fake to third.
I like the way Greinke does that. He really sells it. Most guys, when they try that fake to third, back to first move, they just kind of go through the motions. Like this, they're asking me to do this, and I don't really want to do it.
Runner going, swing and a miss. The throw, he's safe. Throw to third. Schaefer back in as it's dropped by McGee. Well, the steal on the strikeout of Martinez goes to Altuve, his 5th. But it's 2 outs now, and runners at 2nd and 3rd. Second strikeout for Greinke.
Well executed by the Brewers and by Jordan Schaefer down there at third base. See Greinke faking like he's going to cut the throw off, trying to hold Schaefer a little bit. Harrison sees Schaefer coming down the line, so he abandoned second base to come up and close the gap a little bit to have a shot at Schaefer if he tries to score. At the end of the day, the Astros get another man in scoring position.
Carlos Lee gets a shot now. He singled through the right side in the 2nd inning. That took his hitting streak to 13 games. Now a chance to give the Astros the lead. Ogasevics on deck. Carlos looks at one outside. There's ball 1. This game 1 of a 3-game series. Tomorrow night at 6:05, it's Bud Norris and Chris Narveson. Sunday at 1:05, Wandy Rodriguez and Sean Markham. All 3 games on my 20.
A lot of pitchers prefer to stay in the stretch position in this situation, but Greinke going back to the full windup.
Fastball comes in for a strike, and it's 1-1. Lee's hitting .253 this season with men in scoring position.
Full windup, that base runner on third base feels a lot more comfortable coming way down the line, and that sometimes it could be a little disconcerting for a pitcher.
In the air to left center field. Braun is there. And in the 3rd, the Astros threaten but come away with no runs on 2 hits, leaving 2 to keep it scoreless after 3.
Hart showing some pretty good things. An outstanding changeup to get Nigel Morgan in the second inning. Got Corey Hart in the third with a slider after moving the ball in and out very effectively, and then just jammed the daylights out of Jonathan LaCroix there. Soft line drive to end the second inning with 2 men in scoring position. Really showing a nice feel for pitching. Lucas Harrell through 3 innings, standing toe-to-toe with Zach Greinke, and it is scoreless.
30 pitches in the second inning, running his total up to 63. And there's ball 1 to Ryan Braun leading off the 4th inning. Braun grounded out on a 3-2 count to second base. Pittsburgh beat the Cubs today 3-1. Brian Burris the winner. Ryan Dempster lost it. He's 10-11 right now. Hanrahan got his 33rd save. Out to center field. Schaefer. Run out. Andrew McCutchen was hit by a pitch on his left hand. And there was some worry at that time. Apparently he's going to be all right. Astros will be in Pittsburgh after this series.
Cubs announcing that Carlos Zambrano will not pitch for them again this year. They will pay him after his suspension ends, but he will not pitch.
Okay. So he has 1 more year on his contract at about $18 million.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to follow that this winter. Fielder lined a single to right on a 3-1 count. Now it's 1-1. Let's see what else we can pass along. Z-Man is out for the year. Ted Williams will be honored on a postage stamp. Howard Johnson will play with his son in the minors. Another line drive to right field. Very close to the last one he hit. And he's 2 for 2.
That's okay, though, because the last time he was here, the replay we kept showing was the home run down the right field line. They tried to throw cutters in on him, and he was yanking it out of the ballpark. So the deja vu tonight at least are singles and not home runs.
Sure. Good exchange.
Dun, 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 dun. Somebody's getting married at the ballpark, Brownie.
Nice. Let's see if we can pass along details later on. Casey McGee, the batter. Here's ball 1. He hit a fly ball to center on a 3-1 count in the second inning. Yeah, Tomby's the Cubs are going to have to move Big Z and perhaps pay a part of his salary for next year then.
Yeah, and his suspension is still under appeal. The Players Association filed a grievance, and that will be decided this offseason. So whether the Cubs have to ultimately pay him for the time he was suspended will be determined this offseason as well. But you get the senses that they're ready to move on from Z. If they have to eat that contract.
Pitches ball 2, and it's 2-1. Cubs are looking for a general manager. A lot of names floating around in that search. Billy Beane's name is out there. Andrew Friedman's name has been mentioned. It's 3-1.
Oh, start a rumor.
Doesn't take much to do that, does
start
it?
out there. Somebody will pick it up and write it. Sources say Tim Purpura is being interviewed by the Chicago Cubs.
A source close to Tim Purpura. No, just kidding. There's a walk. And 2 men on now for Bettencourt, who drew a walk in the second inning. Well, Harrell, after having a 1-2-3 first, stranded 2 in the second. He had a 1-2-3 third. Now 2 men on here in the 4th inning as he goes up against the shortstop who drew a walk.
That shot at Doug Brocail telling Q, let's go. Let's pick up the pace, pick up the tempo. You work slowly. Your pitching tends to mirror that, and that you get a little tentative. You pitch away from contact.
Rolled out to Carlos Lee. Backhands the ball, throwing from his knees to second, getting the force there to Barmes. So McGee is out from 3 to 6. Fielder taking third. Bettencourt reaching, and it's Hairston batting. You know, that conversation came up too with Brad Mills today in his media session about working quickly. Astros very pleased with Jay Happ.
Yeah, his tempo last time out was outstanding.
The mindset is just exactly what they wanted to see. Hairston grounded out, and it was a good play by Jimmy Paredes to get him with 2 men on in the 2nd inning. Jimmy coming in. So Happ can feel good about his last outing. He attacked the hitters, and as he said, he had a very positive mindset. 7 innings of 3-hit shutout ball in the 2-0 win Wednesday night. Strike to Hairston. And he's been a part of this pitching run for the Astros here in the last week. 7 straight outstanding starts. The bullpen has been good too, with a 2.81 ERA for the last 15 games.
Well, if they can keep it rolling against this offense, they'll really have done something.
0-2 to Hairston.
Not to diminish what they did against the Giants and the Pirates, but those clubs don't score a lot of runs, and they've really been struggling. So if they can keep it going against this bunch, it would be really impressive.
Phillies 4, Florida 2. Top of the 6th inning in Florida. Roy Oswalt on the winning side so far. Brad Hand was a starter for Florida. He's now out of the game. John Mayberry Jr. hit another, his 13th. Off the plate, it's 1-2.
How about Cliff Lee, 5-0 with a 0.45 ERA in the month of August.
Ooh. Did you vote for him?
That was the easiest vote I think I've ever had to cast in these player and pitcher of the month ballots. I think he had a similar June, didn't he? He had another May, maybe. It was another month this year where he was undefeated with an ERA below 1.
2-2. There was some conversation after that call. And Quintero and Hairston are getting into it a little bit. Hairston looked down and said something to Q. Now the home plate umpire, Dana DeMuth, is intervening.
Well, catcher likes to be able to argue with an umpire without interference from the hitter. And the hitter likes to have his piece with the umpire, too, without the catcher getting involved. And Q's hanging and holding on to it for a good long while there, and Harrison's probably telling him, that ball's outside. And Q's like, no, that's not your place. This is for Dana.
Harrell started off the mound. So 78 pitches. He's back to make a 2-2 pitch. Runner going from first, swing and a miss. He struck him out to end the Brewer 4th inning. Now Quintero will try to clarify something with DeMuth. It's no runs a hit, 2 men left, no score in the 4th.
As a fan of the game.
We are scoreless. The Astros host the Brewers tomorrow night on Hispanic Heritage Night. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Carlos Lee bobblehead, courtesy of BBVA Compass. Buy your tickets tonight at Astros.com. That's a big, big night, Hispanic Heritage Night. We told you about Chino Inacho participating in a post-game concert. Early goers will get to Carlos. Wow.
Out into right center field, Bogusevic has extra bases. Nolan rolls out to the center fielder, and he's going to go to third. There's a relay throw from Hairston. It's a triple for Bogusevic. His first triple of the season.
Love the way this man is swinging the bat. Single through the hole between third and short. First time, now he whacks one into the right center alley. And he can run, too. Fastball over the plate, but down, and that's his sweet spot. Great swing of the bat by Bogusevic. We talked so much about J.D. Martinez in the month of August. Bogusevic has not had as many at-bats, but he's put up outstanding numbers as well.
A short stride and then the power. First major league triple for Bogusevic. Now the middle infielders play back with nobody out. Jimmy Paredes the batter. Corner infielders in at third, but back at first. Throw to third, and pitch to Paredes was ball one. Jimmy put down a sac bunt in the second inning. Now he doesn't have to burden himself with that. Third round draft choice Jack Armstrong will be here tomorrow at the press conference. Out the middle into center field. 1-0 Astros as Paredes unleashed the RBI single right back past Greinke. 14th run batted in for Paredes.
He's been seeing a lot of breaking balls lately, and he has struggled with it from time to time. But this is that slow spinner again that just floats up there and puts a real good swing on it.
That's a run for Lucas Harrell. Now possibly a big inning. Paredes takes his lead. Barmas the batter. Clinter will walk in the second inning. He starts and stops off first, and there's strike one.
Astros have had the leadoff man reach in each of the last 3 innings. Carlos Lee single in the second. No, excuse me. It was a 1-out double by Schaefer last inning.
Well, they had that golden opportunity in the second with back-to-back hits and couldn't cash. Way outside, Paredes takes off. Throw from Lucroy, high, and it goes into center field. He'll make third base easily, but Paredes forcing something to happen. Gets the steal and then the bad throw from Lucroy. A wild pitch and an E2. 7th error on Lucroy, so the wild pitch was the 9th of the year for Greinke.
That's the aggressive approach on the bases. A lot of times we talk about the fine line between aggressiveness and recklessness. But in this inning, in both instances, Bogusevic going for third on that leadoff triple, and now Paredes taking off on that wild pitch.
And it's foul back. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. I'm going to check on that again to see if we heard it right. The wild pitch. It's a stolen base. And Paredes has 4 steals this year, and the Astros with 2 steals tonight have stolen 16 and 18 tries against the Brewers this season. Line shot, left field corner. That'll get run number 2 home. One hops the wall. Barmas into second base. The throw not in time. RBI double Barmas. 2-0 Astros as Barmas drives in his 29th with double number 22 for Clint.
A relatively careless fastball by Zach Greinke ahead in the count. He just channels one right down the middle. Barman says, thank you very much. I know what to do with that. With authority to left field. Well played by Braun, but Barman's hustling, able to beat the throw to second base.
Well, 3 straight hits here have the Astros on the board, leading 2-0.
It's not their pitching coach.
No, it's Dan Kiles. He's not the pitching coach.
He is tonight, apparently.
Yeah.
Kranitz is the pitching coach.
52 pitches so far. Rick evidently is away from the club. We haven't been told anything about that. Quintero, the batter. Q bounce into a 4-6-3 double play with the bases loaded to end the Astros second. Those are the numbers on Greinke.
Who knows, in this era of specialization, maybe Greinke has his own pitching coach.
And now we're getting a ruling that that was a wild pitch and an error, and not a stolen base for Redis. Quintero looks at ball 1. It's 1-1. Let's go back to it and see if he was running on the pitch.
But he wasn't running on the pitch, but he was well handled by LaCroix. But as soon as he saw it in the dirt, he took off, even though it didn't kick away from LaCroix.
Yeah.
But the key was a good secondary lead, and then as soon as he saw it in the dirt, he was off.
Until fouls it away, and it's 1-2. Now we'll isolate on Jimmy.
See him shuffle, stop. Then he sees in the dirt, and boy, he's just gone. That slide was just down and up in no time.
That's a quick pop up. You're going to be associated with a pop up. Better a slide than an at bat. Bouncer to second. Hairston over to first. Quintero retired. But the runner got to third on out number 1. So a productive out. Now the pitcher, Harrell, will have a shot at an RBI.
Especially once you're down in the count. There's a 1-ball, 2-strike count there for Quintero. So to make something out of it will earn him some high fives, some fist bumps there in the Astros dugout. Pitcher up. Brewers will pull the infield in. They'll shorten up in the outfield. Harrell wants to have a chat with Dave Clark.
Well, new to the club, so he hasn't had much time to go over the signs.
So Dave, what was the squeeze again? So, when we get done talking, I slap you on the back. The squeeze is on the third pitch.
Infielders in with a 2-0 Houston lead. Triple for Bogasevic, RBI single for Redis, RBI double Barmes. Strike 1 to Harrell. Arizona and San Francisco have a later start tonight at AT&T Park. It's Joe Saunders for the D-backs. Matt Cain with that 10-9 record at 2.87 ERA for the Giants. 1-1. It's pretty close to do or die time for the Giants now. It would not appear that they can afford to lose that series. Put it that way. They don't necessarily have to sweep it.
Yeah, I think they have to sweep it. And if they don't, if they just gain one game, they're still 5 back with what, 23 to go. I mean, it's doable.
But we've got to sweep, sure.
They just got to slow Arizona down. Diamondbacks have won 9 in a row. Well, if you're Lucas here, you're just looking for a little contact. Choke up, short stroke.
Didn't get that. And the strikeout is out number 2. Third strikeout for Greinke. Jordan Schaefer will try for a 2-out hit.
Earlier we were talking about Cliff Lee and the amazing month of August he's had. 5-0, 045. That's his second best month this year. He was 5-0 with an 0.21 ERA in the month of June.
Harrell failed to get the run in, but Schaefer would love to pick him up here. He doubled in the third. He's 1 for 2. Lee has been just sensational.
The Phillies have won Vance Worley's last 13 starts. The rookie.
Yeah.
The kid nobody had heard of prior to this year.
Schaefer takes it. It's ball 1. After watching him bunt for that hit, getting an RBI Wednesday, I asked Brad Mills, you think he's the type of guy who could get 15 bunt hits a year? He said, yeah, he could do that. Rolled up the line to the fielder. And in the 4th inning, the Astros come up with 2 runs on 3 hits. 1 error. They strand a man. Paredes made it 1-0. And then his legs helped make it 2-0 for the Bombers hit. 2-0 after 4.
The 5th, and that means it is time for AT&T Trivia. Will the Russell Bell ring? We'll find out. It didn't ring last night. Here's the question. Before 80-year-old Jack McKeon was hired to manage Florida this season, who was the oldest manager ever hired before?
Ever hired, okay.
Was it a rehire?
What is the answer?
Well, my question is, was the answer to your question, was it a guy who had managed once before?
No, in this case, no.
Oh, wow. Like a first-time hire?
It was a first-time hire for a particular team, yeah.
Lucroy takes their strike 1. Well, we can rule out Connie Mack probably because...
Yeah, because he was the oldest man ever to manage. He was nearly 88, but he'd been doing it for 50 years, so...
Yeah.
It didn't count.
Somebody who was kind of late to the game as a major league manager.
Well, no.
Oh, okay, so you misunderstood my question.
He was late to this particular hiring.
Oh, okay. So he had managed in the big leagues before.
Yes, he had managed before.
I'm going to go with Leo DeRocher.
No.
How about Casey Stengel?
Well, that would be a good guess. Let me just say this is somewhat of a trick question.
Oh, okay. Ted Turner.
No.
Davey Johnson.
No, well, no, it's not Davey Johnson. It's such a trick question. Well, let me see. How can I give a good question? The man took over in mid-season when he was hired.
Yeah.
And
Eddie Stanky.
He won the World Series.
Oh. Let's see now.
You'll understand exactly why it's a trick question when I give you the answer. But we want you to get it right first.
Still 1-2 to Lucroy with Greinke on deck.
Throw that question back up there on the screen so I can parse this. There's something in this question.
Before 80-year-old Jack McKeon was hired to manage Florida this season, who was the oldest manager ever hired before?
Jack McKeon.
You got it. He was 72 when he was hired the first time.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
I'm glad the Russell Bells got to go. Because they really sound good, and you know, much better than the ones you take on the road.
Because the kid behind you thinks you're the ice cream man now. He's like, give me a double dip.
Foul away. Did you take the Ellison footer, Bell?
I take it on the road because it's smaller. I don't take this. This one's too big to carry. But the McKeon thing's interesting because he's in the news today, too. Speculation that he's not coming back next year, and he was saying, nobody's told me.
Yeah, I saw that where they announced that he will be asked to stay on in some capacity, but not to manage.
Ah, okay.
But they haven't told him that.
He probably forgot. Probably told him this morning, and by this evening, it completely gone. Look at this man work! Go, go! That was impressive hustle.
Two and two to Lucroy.
Yes, let's shake hands.
Not biting, and it's a 3-2 count as it was when Lucroy lined back to the pitcher Harrell his first time up. And that was with runners at second and third. Harrell got 2 key outs on Hairston and Lucroy to keep the Brewers off the board in the second. In the air right field line, Bogusevic tracks it, but it'll be bouncing up into the seats. Speaking of Harrell, who was claimed on waivers by the Astros, Jeff Fulcino was claimed on waivers by San Diego.
Yeah, here's the deal on that, too. Connecticut beats my alma mater again.
Oh, no.
Because he was claimed and he joins the team, and an old Butler pitcher was let go.
Oh, ground ball to short. Farmers takes care of out number 1. Lucroy put up a good battle. Zach Greinke follows. Greinke grounded out in the third inning.
Well, that's if you're Jeff Fulcino, that's, I mean, this is where he first kind of settled in as a big leaguer for a while, and obviously has a lot of friends in this organization. But you get a chance to go pitch in that ballpark in that weather. That's a pretty good gig.
Yeah. Strike one to Greinke. Paul Clemens has been promoted from Corpus Christi to Oklahoma City. He was scheduled to start tonight against New Orleans. That game has been postponed due to weather difficulties in the New Orleans area. So you have this promotion effect. You know, Harrell comes up to the big league club, that leaves a spot. Clemens gets a shot at AAA, and that frequently happens throughout many organizations this time of year. Strike, and it's 1-2 to Greinke. Anderson Hernandez still has his hitting streak alive. 29 games for the Red Hawks in Oklahoma City.
I'm curious to know what ball clubs spend every year just moving players around within their organizations.
Yeah.
Guys up and down from the big leagues and the different minor league clubs.
Yeah, that would be intriguing to find out that number. Pretty substantial for all the travel costs and relocation money. Bouncer up the middle. Barmas cuts across, reaches down, and then makes an accurate throw. That's very well done.
Yeah, we talked about Greinke's athleticism, so he gets down that line better than most pitchers. Once he saw Barmas make the play, he broke it down a little bit.
Looked like it might be a hit. Barmas had to go a long way to get to it. 2 outs, and it's Hart batting. Hart's 0 for 2.
Astros playing the game on all levels here tonight. Defensively, they've been solid. Harrell's doing his job on the mound, holding the Brewers to just 2 hits. There's been a lot of good at-bats. Aggressiveness on the base paths.
Beretta showed that. Tap foul, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Corey Hart, 29 years old, one of the products of the Brewers farm system, an 11th round draft choice in 2000. Fouled away, and still a 1 ball, 2 strike count to Corey Hart from Bowling Green, Kentucky. He was a third baseman. That didn't go well defensively. They moved him to first, and then in 04 he became an outfielder. In 03 he was the MVP of the Southern League. Oh boy, 2 and 2. Three balls, 2 strikes.
Not a bad idea, doubling up inside after the pitch is away. Now Hart can't really sit on one side of the plate.
That's what they did to him last time, and they got him out away. And the slider works for strikeout number 4 for Harrell, who's gone 5 with a 2-0 lead. Altuve, Martinez, and Lee due up against Zach Greinke. Greinke with 13 wins, 5 losses, a 4.05 ERA. Coming off a very good game against the Cubs, a 3-2 win. Last time out, he allowed only 1 run in 7 2/3 innings. He's won 5 of his last 6 decisions. So far tonight, Lucas Harrell is out pitching him, despite the fact that he threw 113 pitches. Did very well last time out. Hasn't pitched all that poorly tonight, but Bogasevic started it with a triple in the last inning, and that was a really good way for the Astros to get things going.
Greinke has allowed 2 earned runs or less in 9 of his last 10 starts. And one hiccup coming 2 starts ago in Pittsburgh, he gave up 7.
Hairston goes out Altuve. 1 down, and it's J.D. Martinez. J.D. 0 for 2, a fly ball and a strikeout.
But Greinke's been anything but dominant tonight. He's ultimately pitching a pretty good game, having allowed just the 2 runs, but he has not been particularly sharp. Worked from behind with a lot of these Astro hitters. He hasn't been able to really command the corners with his fastball. Breaking ball has been somewhat unreliable for him.
Up the right field line, that's looping and landing just fine. JD Martinez back to the plate with an 0-1 count. Since July 6th, the Brewers have the best record in the majors, 36-15 for a 70.6 winning percentage. And pitching has been a big part of their success, of course. They lead the majors in ERA over the last 43 games, 2.78. Bouncer up the middle. That one gets through. Greinke stabbed at it, but Martinez is on with a 1-out single.
Greinke had a quick 1-2-3 first inning. Other than that, he's had base runners in every frame.
That's 8 hits. Carlos Lee got one of those. A second inning single to right field. He's 1 for 2. There were media questions for Brad Mills about who would play first and third here in the last month of the season, with Carlos well entrenched now at first base, Jimmy Paredes at third. And now Chris Johnson and Brett Wallace are back. And Brad Mills said that Carlos and Jimmy deserve to get the bulk of the playing time. Lee takes a look at ball one. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Astros have activated Enario Del Rosario from the disabled list and then promoted 6 players from AAA Oklahoma City. And Enario was scheduled to pitch tonight if the game had not been postponed. The Astros wanted him to pitch back-to-back games, but they brought him back a little bit earlier than planned because of the game not being played tonight. 2-1 the count. So the ranks are much larger now. Jordan Lyles out there, along with the other guys who have been added. Fly ball goes to right. 2 outs. J.B. Schuck is back. You mentioned Tolles, Wallace, Johnson, Lucas Harrell. And in addition, the Astros will get the lefty reliever Sergio Escalona back in a few more days. He's on the disabled list. That'll get them through the final month of the season and allow them to look at some players for next year. Bogusevic is 2 for 2 tonight. A single to left, a triple to right center. Batting average has climbed to .302 with this game. Nyjer Morgan is stationed in right center. A shot along right field line.
Wow. Get that weak stuff out of here, you said.
Yeah.
That's an explosive swing right there, boy.
Yeah, it is.
That's a good-looking hack. That's a confident hack, and that is a dangerous place to throw him right there in the Paul Lynn square.
Yeah, that doesn't work too well. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Whoopi Goldberg for you younger folks.
Mm-hmm. You ever watch that show about trying to outguess a 5th grader, whatever the name of that is?
I've never seen that show. I've seen it previewed.
Pretty good
I'm
show.
aware of it.
1 and 2.
There was a show on the other night when I was changing the channels. It was called South Beach Tow.
Oh.
It was a reality show about people getting their cars towed in Miami and South Beach. I thought, now there's one that would have been, put somebody in the Wayback Machine, freeze somebody's brain and bring him into some TV executive from the 70s and say, here's an idea. What do you think?
Let's hold off on that a few more decades. Strikeout ends the 5th inning. No runs, a hit, and a man stranded. It is 2-0 Astros. Brian Bogusevic on a triple. It's brought to you by the Frostbrewed Coors Light. Right in the middle of the plate. Look at him unleash the beast as he goes to right center field. Yeah, that pitch right over the hitting zone. And Bogusevic with a vicious swing on that one for his first triple as a major leaguer. He's 2 for 2 tonight. That's brought to you by Coors Light. That got the scoring inning started in the 4th. He came home on a Paredes single. Paredes scored on a Barmas double. 2-0 as Niger Morgan shows bunt and takes ball 1. Morgan is 0 for 2. There is double barrel bullpen action for Brad Mills, lefty Wesley Wright, right-hander Wilton Lopez, as you see there. It's a 2-ball no strike count, and a couple of factors here. One is that Lucas Harrell is at 104 pitches. He's had stressful innings. His first start with the Astros, first time back in the big leagues in a few months. So a lot of these factors are working on that decision to have the bullpen ready. He's going through the middle of the order for the 3rd time tonight.
In a very dangerous middle of the order. So they're probably just taking it one hitter at a time here. Certainly if Fielder's up there with a man on base, we're going to see Wesley Wright.
T. Plush is crowded on that one. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Looked pretty good on that one.
Going back to that changeup.
And he fouls.
Struck him out with it in the 1st. It was a changeup that he tapped back to the mound last time up.
Drawn in fielder to follow Morgan. Niger's 31. Up the middle. That looks like a hit, and it is. On through into center field. Niger Morgan with the leadoff single here in the 6th. Hit number 3 for the Brewers.
He fouled off the changeup, and then he got the fastball and was able to do something with that pitch.
Niger yucking it up with Carlos Lee. His first base coach reminds him of the situation with Ryan Braun batting. He's grounded out and he's flied out. Morgan is 10 for 13 in steals. Snap throw to first. One ball, no strikes. Garth Orge is the first base coach of the Brewers. Harrell has one major league win, no losses in his 11 games with the White Sox, a 5.28 major league ERA. Missing there. He falls behind Braun, 2-0. .111 pitches now. To Braun.
He's such a tough hitter to fool. Other guys, you get 2-0, 3-1, and you think they're just looking for fastball, and they're going to come out of their shoes, and they chase that breaking ball out of the zone. But you don't see that very often with Braun. He makes you come to him.
Fourth career major league start for Lucas Harrell, and Doug Brocail watches the visit to the mound by Quintero. 3-0 pitch will be coming. Brewers are an explosive bunch who are third in the league in long balls with 150. Braun and Fielder accounting for about 51% of their runs. Strike makes it 3-1. The Brewers don't do a lot of running. They have 84 steals. That's 9th in the league. With their power, they don't really need to.
Well, Braun's their best. He's stolen 31.
Fly ball, and Bogusevic comes over near the line. Boy, is that a big out. On a 3-1 pitch. One down for Harrell.
Brad Mills is going to go get him and bring in Wesley Wright to face Fielder.
Fielder is 2 for 2. 2 singles to right field off Harrell. And this way Harrell cannot lose the game. And it'll give Mills a lefty on lefty setup with Fielder's success against Harrell in this game tonight. And the fact that he's thrown 114 pitches. It's going to be Wesley Wright. Back in a moment.
Today at foxsports.com/fantasy. Play against friends or compete against other Fox Sports users. It's free and it's easy to play. Sign up today at foxsports.com/fantasy. Got the real thing here in baseball. Here's Browning.
Lucas Harrell comes off to a nice ovation from these Astros fans on a Friday night in his National League debut. He really battled tonight. Gave up 3 singles in his 5 1/3 innings, striking out 4, walking 2.
Solid effort. Can win, can't lose. Big confrontation coming here with Wesley Wright and Prince Fielder. 5 1/3. Very solid innings for Harrell.
Now the bullpen will help determine his fate. And Wright, a good man to call on recently. He has 8 straight scoreless appearances. Morgan on at first, 1 out. Fielder takes it. It's strike 1 to Prince. Wesley pitched in the Pittsburgh game here Tuesday night. 1 hitless inning in the Astros 8-2 win.
And the go-to lefty with Escalona on the shelf. He's had a lot of important confrontations in recent games against tough left-handed hitters, and he's won just about all those battles.
Fielder takes it. It's 1-1. Throw goes over to first. Fielder's hitting .281 against lefty pitching, with 6 homers and 146 at bats. 4 for 12 against Wesley Wright. Wesley has faced Milwaukee once this season. He gave up a run on a Lucroy homer. Now back, and it's 1-2.
Cardinals have rallied back to tie the Reds. That game 5-5 now after 5 in St. Louis.
Wilton Lopez continuing to work in the bullpen. McGee is on deck. Looks like a 1-batter appearance here for Wesley. Foul ball.
Double hit. The time of game in September usually goes up a little bit with all the extra pieces available. Managers can wheel and deal a little bit more with their bench players and their bullpens.
Oh yeah, you give managers extra players and they're going to use them.
I'm surprised the Brewers do not have a single lefty in their bullpen.
Yeah, that is surprising. Close from ball 2.
They get into a postseason series with the Phillies and they've got to deal with Utley and Howard. They would love to have a real dominant left-handed relief guy. They just don't. Got a couple lefties on the DL. Narveson is in the rotation. I guess Narveson in the postseason could move to the bullpen.
True. He has been in the bullpen some of the time this year, but not really used very much.
And I don't know if he profiles as a guy that could really dominate left-handed hitters.
Pull foul. I was in on him. He checks the bat. Looks like he cracked it. Prince will go back for another one. It's a good point you're making, though, about the Phillies with those talented left-handed hitters you mentioned, and if they should play Atlanta. You've got the switch hitter Chipper Jones. You've got Hayward,
McCann, Freeman.
Yeah, that could come back to bite. Apparently they tried to get on the Mike Gonzalez bidding. He wound up being traded to the Rangers here a couple days ago, but that didn't work out for them. They attempted to address that shortage. General manager Doug Melvin. Foul ball. Let's see if it might stay in play. No chance it will. Still 2-2 to Fielder. Well, a lot of the general managers of these teams in first place had to be thinking long and hard the last few days before September 1st about trying to improve their clubs, because they had to do it before the 1st to make those players playoff eligible in most cases. Foul back again. Well, West is moving the ball around on him, coming in on Fielder, but it's tough to get the big fella.
Yeah, this is a situation where something really slow. If he had a big looping curveball, he may be able to catch him way out in front, but he doesn't. Probably not the time you want to experiment with something like that. And they are going to throw a breaking ball here.
In the dirt. 3-2 now. Fielder yesterday became the first player in Brewers history with 5 consecutive 30 home run seasons. Jeremy Burnitz had 4 in a row. And he joined Cecil Cooper as the only players in Brewers history with 4 100 RBI seasons. He has 103 right now, second in the league. And he takes a walk. 2 men on with 1 out for McGee now.
It would be interesting to survey the teammates, the coaching staff, the broadcasters, everybody that follows these Brewers every day and say, who's your team MVP?
Yeah.
I imagine it would be a fairly split vote between Fielder and Braun. I don't think you could find a consensus.
We'll do some sampling then before tomorrow night's game. Brad Mills will make another move here. Wesley Wright walking Fielder. Now he'll come out, and it'll be Wilton Lopez, who would love to get a double play ball on McGee. Will be up next. Lopez has been warming up. Well, let's see.
No.
Maybe not. They have not made the move yet. They're talking. Interesting. He's going to stay with Wesley.
Yeah, I think this is because it's the 6th inning. They still got to get 11 outs from their bullpen. I think if it were the 7th inning, Lopez would be the guy right now. And again, as we've said pretty much all year long, this is a year of discovery, and Wesley's been used mostly against left-handed hitters lately, so here's a chance for him now to deal with a tough right-handed hitter, a guy who has not had much success against him. And the thing I like about that at bat with Prince, a lot of times a specialty lefty will come in and walk a guy and never really be close. But Wesley made a lot of good pitches in that sequence, really made Fielder work for that walk.
Ball 1 to McGee. McGee's 0 for 1 with a walk. McGee has hit 176 against lefties with no homers and 108 at bats against southpaws.
There's a little more evidence to support the Mills decision. Got to make a pitch here, though. You don't want to go 2-0.
He does go 2-0.
And he did make a pitch. So it was made a heck of a pitch, just didn't get the borderline call.
Betancourt on deck. Now 3-0. Lucas Harrell watching as Wesley Wright tries to make a big 3-0 pitch. And McGee swinging. Fly ball to center field. Caught by Schaefer. Whoa, what a big out that is. 3-0. Green light. McGee couldn't do anything with it. 2 down.
Yeah, you got a guy up there capable of taking you out of the ballpark and giving the Brewers a lead. So Ron Renick green lights him on 3-0. He had a pitch, just got it off the end of the bat. Just kind of pulled off it a little bit.
Well, that'll be it for Wright. But nonetheless, he stayed in and got that 1 out. He couldn't get Fielder, but he did get McGee going against percentages. And now Wilton Lopez will be called in to face Betancourt with a 2-0 Houston lead. Back in a moment. And it'll be Yuniesky Betancourt against Wilton Lopez. Lopez 2-5 with a 2.79 ERA.
Well, as we mentioned earlier with Betancourt, he's the kind of guy it's a little difficult to figure out because he swings at all kinds of pitches. Just not sure exactly where to go against him. He'll chase balls way out of the zone and sometimes inflict a little damage when he goes out of the zone. And he's got legitimate pop. He's hit 10 home runs. Not a crusher, but he's dangerous. And there's one right down the middle.
Yep,
that's the best strategy.
Right after him. Betancourt walked and he bounced into a force play. Lopez has been on a pretty good run of work in recent days. Fouled away and it's no balls, 2 strikes. He's pitched 4 times against the Brewers with an ERA of 0 for 4 innings this year. He inherits Morgan at second, Fielder at first. The Astros lead in hits 8-3. Lopez had the Pirates series off after working 3 times in San Francisco. It's 1-2. He had 5 outings in 7 games on the road trip. And his ERA has been coming down with that work. Last week he pitched Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and again on Sunday. Foul ball. Keeps the count at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Brewer shortstop. This is the first of a 3-game series. Hope you can make it out for the next couple. Tomorrow night at 6:05. It will be on My 20. If you can't make it out, it's Bud Norris and Chris Narveson. Sunday at 1:05, it's Wandy Rodriguez and Sean Markham. He takes off for third, and that was pulled foul. Roger Morgan started running. Well, Prince Fielder's looking at him as if he's on another planet. Prince was not running. 1-2, 2 outs.
That's really the only way that play makes sense. And if Prince gets into scoring position behind Morgan.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, he certainly could. They're not defending the stolen base at all. Carlos is off the line and well behind Fielder, so he could cruise on into second base.
Hairston's on deck. Swing and a miss. And Lopez follows up rights out on McGee by getting Betancourt for a strikeout for no runs, 1 hit, 2 men left for the Milwaukee Brewers in the 6th inning. 2-0 Houston.
Howe Automotive, treating you like family. Astros have a 2-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the inning, and Bill Brown and Jim DeShays are on the call in the broadcast booth.
Thanks, Greg. A Friday night here at Minute Maid Park. A 2-0 lead for the Astros. They come up against Zach Greinke in the bottom of the 6th inning. Jimmy Paredes drove in run number 1 with a single in the 4th. After Brian Bogusevic had led off the inning with a triple. There's strike 1 to Jimmy. His first time up, he laid down a sacrifice bunt. 8 hits for the Astros, 3 for the Brewers. Greinke goes to a 1-1 count. Lucas Harrell in 5 1/3 innings allowed 3 hits, no runs. He walked 2 and fanned 4 in his Astros debut, throwing 114 pitches. Paredes chasing there, and it's 1-2. Wesley Wright in 1/3 of an inning allowed no hits, no runs with 1 walk, no strikeouts. Lopez got the big strikeout on Betancourt to end the top of the inning. Brewers have left 6 on base. Paredes fouls the breaking pitch and stays in there at 1-2. The Astros in San Francisco last weekend split the 4-game series with the Giants, the defending National League champs, World Series champs. Wouldn't they love to follow that up after sweeping the Pirates by doing well in this series?
We're off to a good start. The starting pitching that has been so good lately continues here tonight. Greinke having a difficult time putting Paredes away. A couple good change-ups early. Now curveballs in that he's been able to foul off. Slider in.
Paredes swings and misses, striking out. Number 5. See whose birthday it is today. Milo Hamilton is 84. He was born in 1927. You know Ramona?
I don't know Ramona.
Our TD, Damon McGavick's daughter.
Okay. Doug Wallace is a lifetime Astro fan, or longtime Astro fan anyway.
It's his wife, not his daughter. I need to get this right.
It's a distinction that probably needs to be made.
Yeah, we could do that. There's strike 1 to Barmas. And Eloy Rodriguez warming up for Houston. Barmas has an RBI double and a walk. How about those other people on the list?
It's Jay Lucas's birthday too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know it either. He didn't get a cake.
You told us about Doug Wallace.
Doug and Dolly Wallace, longtime Astro fans.
Keanu Reeves.
Selma Hayek and Lilu Kulani. She's the last queen of Hawaii.
Line drive again to left field. This one bangs off the wall. And for the second time tonight, it's a double for Barmas. 23 doubles this season for Clint.
Walk double as he gets that fastball in a little bit. And he likes it in there.
Good throw from Braun on the run. Made it pretty close.
Trying to earn your doubles to left field here.
Yeah. 2-double game for Clint. 9 hits for the Astros. 4 have been for extra bases. The Astros lead the league in doubles. They've had 3 more tonight. Quintero, the batter, 0 for 2. J.B. Shuck is on deck. Pitcher spot due up next. There's strike 1.
Clint is now 6 for 9 in his career off of Zach Greinke.
How about that? Rodriguez warming up for the Astros. Shuck preparing to pinch hit for Lopez. It's 0-2. Brewers waltzed into Minute Maid Park and swept that series August 5th, 6th, and 7th. They scored 8 runs, 7 runs, and 7 runs in those 3. Quintero swings and misses. The ball kicking away from Lucroy, who checks the runner at second and throws. 2 outs. Strikeout number 6. Well done by Lucroy.
Yeah, he's Done a nice job tonight on that breaking ball. He just cannot help himself going after that breaking ball.
But Troy Hawkins, the former Astros, warming up. J.B. Shuck has been announced as the pinch hitter, and with that, the pitching coach for the evening, Stan Kiles, usually the bullpen coach, comes out
with the Shuck report.
Yeah. We'll do some shucking. Well, Wilton Lopez goes 1/3 of an inning and strikes out Betancourt, the only man he faces. Big out in this game. And Shuck, who's back with the Astros, Greinke at 86 pitches for the night after performing well in the previous stint. A September call-up at 250, no homers, 2 runs batted in. We'll have this chance coming off the bench to boost the Astros lead a little bit with Schaefer on deck. Shuck looks at ball 1. Astros have 53 pinch hits and 198 at bats. Pinch hitters have had a whole lot of work this year. It's 2-0 to Shuck, who at Oklahoma City hit 297 with 398 on base average in 108 games there, and that's what we've seen from him. The on base average has been evident the way he works the count. Doesn't mean you're going to get on base, but he usually goes deep in the count. 2 balls and a strike. Schaefer hopes for a chance here in the home 6th inning.
You like to have that kind of diversity on your bench. You like to have left and right-handed pinch hitters. You like to have power guys, a guy who can knock one out of the ballpark for you, or at least be a threat. And you also like to have a guy like Shuck who'll give you a real good tough at bat, be a good guy to lead off an inning in the pinch.
Yeah.
Ability to work the walk.
Oh, that's a tough pitch. Wow. Is that a changeup?
Mm-hmm.
I've had some serious movement on it to the inside corner.
So it kind of comes out of his hand, turns it over a little bit, and floats in there around the knees.
In the dirt, did he check? That's the appeal, and he did check. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Doug Eddings with the call.
I like watching LaCroix catch. He's really engaged in this game. He's working really hard back there.
He is. He's done a very good job tonight, blocking balls. Working with a pitcher who obviously does not have his best command tonight. He had walked only 32 in 135 innings coming into this game. Only walked 1 tonight, but he's had a lot of pitches. And now he walks Shuck. Good job by JB to get on. And now Schaefer. He doubled in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. That's the toughest part of a guy coming to the big leagues for the first time like Shuck, who is not getting a lot of starts. And Brad Mills will get him some starts. He does with all the players, but it's tougher to do that in September because the rosters are larger. But he's had that ability to come off the bench maybe once a game and do what he just did.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be his niche in the big leagues. He profiles as a more of a an extra outfielder than as an everyday player. So these are big at bats for him to be able to show what he can do coming off the bench.
Inside ball on to Schaefer.
Maybe more important than what he does when he gets a start.
True. It would certainly be premature to talk about next year's club, but Shuck trying to take this audition and put himself in a position to be on that club. Well, the fielder And in the 6th inning, it's no runs, a hit, 2 men stranded. After 6, Astros 2, Brewers nothing.
The Astros for the second dog day of the 2011 season. That'll be this Sunday. Some of these dogs will be repeaters, you can be sure. Purchase the ticket package at astros.com/dogday and score bullpen box seats for you and your dog. An Astros dog leash and great pregame activities for only $40. Visit astros.com/dogday tonight. This is a very popular promotion all over baseball. There's a pretty popular reliever in for the Astros, Brownie.
Yeah, he has been, and he's done well in relief. His ERA 4.77, higher as a starter than in relief. He's 1-5. Anewi Rodriguez coming in now after lowering that ERA recently, but he's had some time off. His last outing was last Friday night in San Francisco.
Should be strong.
Yep.
And the question is, will he be sharp? Will he be able to command his stuff? When he's at his best, he's able to power that four-seam fastball down and away to the outside corner against right-handed hitters. It's a good sharp breaking ball as well. Yeah, his work, especially since his second stint as a reliever, has been very impressive.
7, 8, 9 hitters are due up in the Milwaukee 7th inning. Hairston first. He topped the ball to third base and made an out in the second. Struck out his second time up. There's strike 1 to Hairston. Rodriguez, pitcher number 4 for Brad Mills tonight. Breaking ball works for strike 2 for him. He's had 11 appearances in relief with more than an inning. And in 19 trips to the mound from the bullpen since he moved out of the rotation, his ERA has been 2.79 with a 158 batting average against him. That fastball with some life. It's foul back. 0-2.
That's the beauty of throwing 93. You're trying to go down and away with it, and he threw it up over the middle and up a little bit, but he got away with it. Q and Hairston continuing their conversation from earlier in the ball game, I think.
In the air to center field. Schaefer's waiting for it. 1 out for Rodriguez. Rodriguez got his first major league win the last time he pitched here at Minute Maid Park. That was against the Cubs on August 16th. He came in with the Astros trailing 5-2 in the top of the 9th. Worked 2/3 of an inning, and then Brian Bogusevic hit that pinch grand slam to win it for him. Taylor Green comes out to the on-deck circle. He would be making his major league debut if he does pinch hit for the pitcher next. Jonathan Lucroy in the box now. He's 0 for 2. He lined back to the pitcher and grounded to shortstop. Both times he's worked the count full.
His at bat may be the key at bat for Lucas Harrell tonight. Runners on second and third. And Greinke, the pitcher, was on deck, but they opted to pitch to LaCroix, and he made a series of very good pitches to Jonathan, and ultimately got him to a weak little line drive back to the mound on a fastball in on his knuckles.
Dana DeMuth, the home plate umpire tonight.
Dana's been at it a good long while. He's the crew chief. They play LaCroix as an off-field hitter in the outfield. Schaefer 3 or 4 steps towards the right center alley. That may be just a byproduct of the fact that the count has now gone 0-2. Get it out there.
Yep. Oh. 1-2.
Q not so happy with his location. Q threw him a little 94 back to the mound. Basically sending a message. Come on, man, you're better than that. Make that pitch and we'll get him.
Well, at least he didn't miss over the plate.
A good miss, as we say in golf.
Fly ball left. This ball hit well. And a good play there from J.D. Martinez, who negotiated that wall for out number 2. Ran right around the corner of it. Now we get the major league debut of Taylor Green from British Columbia, Canada. 5'11", 200, his listed height and weight. 25th round pick in 05 by the Brewers. 24 years old. First major league appearance, and Doug Brocail is going over Taylor Green. Zach Greinke leaving after 6 innings of work tonight. And the Astros were able to do a number on him with 9 hits, although he only gave up 2 runs. But for a guy who allowed a batting average of .237 coming into this game and had been pretty dominant in 2 career starts against the Astros, they made some progress against Greinke tonight. He walked 2 and he fanned 6. Well, Troy Hawkins has been working in the bullpen. Now the spotlight's on Taylor Green. Looking at ball 1. Green came up on Saturday from Nashville. He was hitting .336 there with 88 runs batted in 120 games. In the air, Quintero. One ball, 1 strike. Greinke was selected to the PCL All-Star team. And he was named Brewers Minor League Player of the Month for June and July this year. Very good season. 22 homers. A new career high for him. That's a strike. 1-2. Zach Greinke is rooting for Taylor Green. Pinch hitting for Zach to come through here.
Solidly built kid. He's not real big. I'm guessing he played some hockey. He looks like a hockey player to me with that body. Plus he's Canadian. That might be just profiling just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
And he likes maple donuts probably.
Hits it in the air to left field. Martinez running over, and it's in for a hit. Green takes the big turn. Now he'll slam on the brakes with the throw coming in. Throw back to first. He gets back in. He was about halfway to second. First major league hit for Taylor Green.
Ball off the plate and up a little bit. And he just rides it to left field. Martinez able to cut it off. Hockey stop.
Green leaves for a pinch runner. Logan Schaefer.
September baseball.
Yep. Schaefer also a newcomer to the big leagues. And now it's Corey Hart. Hart's 0 for 3. Schaefer's going. It's hit in the air and behind third base over to foul ground.
Hit a rafter.
Yes, he did. That means it's out of play. That's not a good break for Anewy Rodriguez because it would have been the third out, but that's the ground rule here. And Doug Eddings called it. Logan Schaefer, the pinch runner, also is making his major league debut. Just came up yesterday from AAA Nashville, where he hit .331. He started the year at Class A Brevard County. Then he went up to Huntsville most of the season. So at first he gets back.
It's almost an automatic when Q gets a swing and miss like that. A high fastball, he's going to take a shot at that runner at first.
Yeah. Correction, that was Green's second major league hit. That's why they didn't get the ball for him. Out into center field. Schaefer in. Schaefer reaching down, and he didn't hold it. It's a hit. And Hart with a single sends the pinch runner Logan Schaefer to third base as Jordan Schaefer made an effort but couldn't hold it. And now Morgan will come up with runners at first and third and 2 outs.
A big swing by a powerful guy, but down towards the end of the bat, so a little bit of a dying quail into shallow center field. Jordan comes up just a little bit short. Unfortunately able to keep it in front, albeit off his coconut. Boom, boom, off the ground, off the head, but it gets behind him. The Brewers probably score a run.
Now that flipped out of there like out of a high-lie cesta, and then it hit the ground and hit his head. David Carpenter's warming up for Houston. Hart now has a 15-game hitting streak with that one. And it's Nyjer Morgan batting. Morgan singled in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 3. 5 hits for the Brewers now.
And again, the location not there for an Uri tonight. Q was set up way in the left-handed hitter's batter's box for that fastball, and it kind of came back over the outside part of the plate for Hart.
And Hart was at 0-2 in the count. Morgan showing bunt, and it's ball 1.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at just the pitch itself, you go, oh, that wasn't a bad pitch. It was outside corner, maybe even a hair off the outside part of the plate. But when you look where Q was set up and where he wanted to pitch, Uri missed probably by a good 6-8 inches.
Morgan takes it. It's a strike. 1-1. Rodriguez is pitching for the 4th time against the Brewers this season. There's no decisions. 2 earned runs allowed in 5 innings. 20,045 the paid attendance. Fastball, and that makes it 1-2 to Morgan.
Well behind that fastball. It was the changeup that was giving him problems earlier with Harrell out there.
Schaefer the pinch runner at third. Hard across the diamond.
Maybe a running situation for Corey Hart.
Could be. Morgan takes, and it's ball 2. Altuve, Martinez, and Lee due up in the Houston 7th inning. Morgan was born in San Francisco, then he went up north to play hockey in Canada for a while. Hits it high, and it's going foul outside the right field line with home run distance.
Yeah, you generally discount the power for Nyjer Morgan. He's only hit 3 all year, but you got to be careful. Anybody's dangerous. This is a bit of a hanging breaking ball.
So maybe back to the fastball after that, and after the success with the fastball away earlier in the count. Three and two. It's been a 22 pitch inning so far for Rodriguez. And Braun's on deck, making this pitch a very big one. In the air, and that's fouling out of play. Carlos had backed up behind the runner, Hart. Scattering foul balls all over Minute Maid Park tonight. Forge talking to Hart, who took off on that last 3-2 pitch. And he'll look over to first base to think that maybe he would be leaving too soon, but he didn't.
Probably what Orch told him just prior to that. Don't forget about the fake to third, back to first move. Carlos sneaks in behind Hart, whispers a couple of sweet nothings, and then backs up a couple of steps.
Now he's going to cheat in closer to the bag, and it's ball 4. Bases are loaded, and it's Braun with Carpenter in the bullpen, and we'll see as the signal went out from the pen that Carpenter's ready if Rodriguez stays in, and apparently he will not be staying in this game. He got the first 2 outs easily. And Green with a pinch hit to left field. Hart with a single on an 0-2 count in front of the center fielder. Now a walk, and the bases are loaded as he leaves. And it goes to David Carpenter. We'll be right back. To David Carpenter. Carpenter 0-2 with a 2.65 ERA and 1 save.
Yeah, you know, it's a tough spot to bring a guy in with the bases loaded and Ryan Braun up there, but I think because Rodriguez was just struggling so much with his command, Brad Mills felt like it was time to make a move, and hopefully Carpenter would be a little bit more precise with his offerings at a time where you really have to be able to hit your spots. Carpenter will come after Braun with that good fastball slider combination.
Schaefer the pinch runner at third. Hart on at second. Morgan at first. 2 outs in the inning. A 2-0 lead for the Astros. Morgan drew the walk to load the bases. Braun is 0 for 3. Carpenter has pitched 3 times against Milwaukee with an ERA of 0 for 2 innings. He worked on Monday night against the Pirates and got a hold in the 7-4 win. That's his last outing. He's gone 9 straight outings without giving up a run. This one gets away from Quintero, who will not have a play at the plate, and the Brewers are on the board, trailing 2-1 now on a wild pitch. Schaefer scoring. Hart to third. Morgan to second.
It's a hard slider in the dirt. Q gets the glove turned up the wrong way. And tries to pick that ball as opposed to just blocking it with his chest protector. That's a tough ball to pick there. It's going to hit and kick back hard the other way on you. So now, base hit in all likelihood gives the Brewers the lead.
That hit to left field. That'll score. Hart to tie it. Here comes Morgan to the plate. The throw up the line. And now throwing to second. And Braun's in a rundown. And Carlos Lee will flip it. And he is tagged out by Barmes. But 2 more runs score on the single by Braun, giving him 91 runs batted in. And the Brewers grab the lead 3-2 here in the 7th. Ball not hit the roof when Green was pinch hitting, but just another if. And then Braun with the 2-run single to left field give the Brewers enough chances, and they will cash in, as Braun did, to give them the lead.
Aggressive send there by Ed Cedar at third base, but with Nigel Morgan running at 2 outs, it's the time you're going to be aggressive. The throw, if it were right on line, might have had a shot at him, but Martinez in his haste a little bit offline with the throw, and the Brewers take the lead.
But Troy Hawkins with a 1-0 record, a 2.63 ERA. Former Astro was injured earlier this season, but now back and pitching well, just when the Brewers want to see him be ready for playoff baseball.
Hawk has been a big leaguer since breaking in with the Minnesota Twins back in 1995, first as a starting pitcher. He's had his most success working out of the bullpen with the Twins, the Cubs, the Orioles, the Rockies, the Astros, and the Brewers.
Zach Greinke now could be the winning pitcher in this game. Altuve the batter. He's 1 for 3. That's in the air and foul. It'll be out of play for strike 1. And Julio Rodriguez in 2/3 of an inning was charged with 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, no strikeout. So he's on the hook for this game right now. But the Astros batting here in the 7th. Hope that they can get on that scoreboard as well with Martinez on deck. Paredes and Rodriguez alongside each other there. It's so close to being the end of the inning.
Can you tell which one of them's having a good night?
Oh, yes.
Hawkins, the veteran, facing a couple of rookies initially, and Altuve and Martinez. So obviously their first looks at LaTroy, but he's going to throw a 4-seam fastball about 93 miles an hour. Pretty straight, doesn't really sink it or get a lot of movement on his fastball. Slider, curveball, and a changeup.
Last pitched on Saturday against the Cubs, and in 1/3 of an inning was tagged for 4 hits and 3 earned runs. A little dribbler here. He barehands, throws, and out at first.
Seen some pretty athletic plays by the pitchers in this ball game tonight, and here's another one. Altuve by the smallest of margins, but they got him. He busted it down that
line. Barehanded it. He had his feet set. Otherwise, he didn't get him. Good play by Hawkins. And now it's Martinez. Martinez 1 for 3. Singled in the 5th inning. Fouls that one for strike 1. The Brewer bullpen with a 3.69 ERA, well stocked with quality arms. In addition to Hawkins with all of his experience in various roles, just about every role in baseball a pitcher can have. Takashi Saito has been a very good contributor to the bullpen. K-Rod Francisco Rodriguez gets the 8th, and the closer John Axford has 40 saves. Axford hasn't had a blown save since April. 1-1. Hawkins, 38 years old. From Gary, Indiana, lives in Frisco, Texas. It's 1-2. When he appeared against the Astros in Milwaukee, 3rd week in April, he was just returning from the disabled list. He's pitched 3 times against Houston, given up 1 run in 3 innings. Had right shoulder surgery last year. Still 1-2 with Carlos Lee on deck. Chris Narveson gets the call tomorrow night, a lefty for the Brewers. Hawkins leaves that one up, and it's 2-2 for Hawk. 7th round pick of the Twins in '91. He went 22 games in a row without giving up an earned run earlier this season. Got him on strikes. Strikeout number 7 for Milwaukee pitching tonight.
JD went way out of the zone after this one. We talked about Anuri missing his spots, and Hawkins does there by him. Look at where LaCroix is set up, trying to coax him to throw a good down and away fastball, and he just airmails it up and in, but he gets the big swing and miss.
Carlos Lee has 1 hit in 3 at bats, taking strike 1. The hit extended his streak to 13 games. Bogasevic's on deck. 9 hits for the Astros, 6 for the Brewers.
Carlos 7 out of 26 with a home run against Hawkins.
Hairston takes care of the 3rd out. We move to the 8th inning, 3-2 Milwaukee.
11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Just text @BAT to 31826 or visit Astros.com for details. Brownie?
Thanks, Greg. Here's Fielder leading it off, 3-2 Brewers. The 8th inning arrives. Fielder's been on all 3 times, 2 singles and a walk, and fouls that one from David Carpenter. There's strike 1. 2-run single by Braun, who then was thrown out in a rundown, giving the Brewers their first lead of the night. As they put together 3 singles, a walk, and a wild pitch in the 7th inning. Carpenter missing there. Has a 1-1 pitch coming next. Reds lead the Cardinals 8-6 in the 8th inning. Brewer fans can do some scoreboard watching here in the final month. That's in the air, foul. Paredes over. It's out of play for him, and it's 1-2. Brewers trying to make it back to the World Series for the first time since '82.
Harvey's wallbangers. Yeah, his team liked that team with all kinds of power.
Dodgers lead 8-5 in Atlanta after 8. Fielder near the left field line. Martinez hustling over. This ball dropping just fair into the corner. And Fielder is into second base with a double. Reaching for the 4th straight time.
Yeah, he just continues to do great things against the Astros this year. And his fastball, they're trying to crowd him. It drifts over the middle a little bit, but he didn't hit it all that hard. Just fought it off. He's so strong. He just pushes it 314 feet into the left field corner. Just kind of watching it as he runs down the first baseline to make sure it's fair, and then finds enough to get into second base for the leadoff double. Very important insurance run right there for the Brewers.
31st double for Fielder. McGee is next. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Yonder Alonso's hit his 4th home run for the Reds tonight at St. Louis. Todd Frazier, number 6. The Cardinals have long balls from Rafael Furcal, number 6, and David Freese, number 9.
It's 3 days in a row for Furcal.
Doesn't happen too often for him. Ball 1 to McGee.
Trying to convince Tony La Russa that he's the man to play shortstop for them next year.
He might be. In the air over first base. Carlos Lee digging into foul territory for it, but he won't get to that one. 1-1.
Reds Fielder now hitting an exact 500 against the Astros this year. 25 out of 50. Carlos stealing a little popcorn while he was over there.
Yeah. Sample. Detroit down to White Sox 8-1. Win number 21 for Justin Verlander. Has lost 5 with a 2.34 ERA. He beat John Danks. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, if you're scheduled to pitch and you find out you're up against Verlander, that's a good night to come up with a little tender hammy. You might need an extra day, Skip.
Ivan Nova's a 15-game winner. The Yankees beat Toronto 3-2. That's ripped to left field, headed for the seats, and it's a 2-run homer. Casey McGee hits number 12, giving him 65 runs batted in. And now 5-2 Milwaukee. That's McGee's 4th long ball against the Astros this season.
Tough to keep this club down, and the Astros did a nice job of that through 6 innings.
The Coors Light Cold Hard Blast comes off the bat of the Brewer third baseman.
Slider backed up on him, trying to go down and away, and it just hovered over the inside part of the plate.
First long ball of the night. That's number 151 for the Brewers. Hit Betancourt. And I got it on the right arm. Flung the bat away, and he's in some obvious pain here.
Maybe a little bit of the not so funny bone.
Maybe so.
That hurts.
Yeah, right around the right elbow.
And that's not flinging the bat in anger at the pitcher. That's just flinging the bat in pain, kind of like when you stub your toe and you want to punch something.
Mm-hmm.
Which is always a smart idea to then hurt your hand.
Exactly. Ron Renicky might want a pinch runner here. Let's see what he does.
And Renicky just, you know, the way the game is moving along, he doesn't want to take a whole lot of time. So we got plenty of players. Let Counsell go out. Keep the game flowing. Get him into the training room. Get some attention.
Counsell, the pinch runner for Betancourt, who was hit by the pitch. Counsell usually stays in these situations to play shortstop. Juan Abreu is warming up for the Astros. Jerry Hairston Jr. is the batter. He's 0 for 3. Arizona got a run in the first at San Francisco. Foul ball there, and leads 1-0 now in the middle of the third inning with Joe Saunders going up against Matt Cain tonight. Baltimore won 3-2 at Tampa Bay, beating David Price, who's 12-12. Texas massacred Boston 10-0 on a 2-hitter. Eric Holland going to 13-5. Strike call there.
Well, Julio Lugo won't be going to the postseason with the Braves. They released him today.
An odd time to release somebody. Mets beat Washington. R.A. Dickey the winner, 7-3, beating Detweiler.
The Braves had acquired a Jack Wilson from Seattle on Wednesday.
Oh, that's right. Soft fly ball, Altuve out. One down. Catcher Jonathan Lucroy comes up. He is 0 for 3. Roy Oswalt and the Phillies won at Florida 5-3. Oswalt 7-8 now. He beat Brad Hand. Ryan Madsen got save number 27. Cleveland winning 5-4 at Kansas City. Masterson beat Chen. Chris Perez got his 31st save.
We get these stat sheets before every game with all kinds of interesting, not so interesting numbers. And the front page is always the standings. And every time you look at the Phillies, you know, they have the last 10 games, and they print the same thing in the paper. The last 10 games, they're always 7-3 or 8-2. I mean, it's been unbelievable how consistent they've been.
Have avoided slumps very well with that rotation of theirs, and they've scored runs a lot better. Mark Kotze's on deck.
This is an anniversary of sorts for Kevin Bass.
What kind of an anniversary?
On this date in 1987, he hit home runs from both sides of the plate, becoming the first National Leaguer to do it twice in the same season.
Boy, he was the first guy to do it twice in a year. Out into right field, Bogusevic charging, makes the catch on the run. 2 outs. Bogusevic was in at second base on that long rundown play on Braun in the 7th inning. Yeah, it's Mark Kotze pinch hitting for LaTroy Hawkins. Hawkins had a 1-2-3 7th with 1 strikeout. Kotze's played quite a bit with the injuries the Brewers have had. 273 as a pinch hitter with 5 runs batted in for Mark. He's had 33 pinch hit at bats, 209 at bats for the season. Fouling it back, strike 1.
This is also the anniversary of Dave Steve's no-hitter in 1990 over Cleveland, and notable because 3 times in the previous 2 seasons He's gone 8 2/3 hitless.
Oh, that's right.
Only to have those no-hitters spoiled. I mean, that's just maddening. And boy, could he pitch.
Terrific pitcher. What a big slider he had. No balls, 2 strikes.
So happy for him that he got it. I think everybody that followed baseball was, because you know, if you retired 3 times, you went 8 2/3 hitless and didn't get it.
Yeah.
It's one thing to throw a one-hitter if somebody breaks it up in the 5th or 6th, but
8 2/3.
Yeah.
That's tough. Kotsay takes it. 1-2.
Start to question your lifestyle a little bit. What am I doing wrong here?
Kotsay has hit .391 in his last 13 games. Pulls that one foul. Well, he's been the man on the spot for Ron Renicky. He started 25 games in right field, 12 in left, 8 in center. They've had injuries at all of those positions. And a very versatile guy who can cover all 3 of those very well with his extensive experience in the major leagues.
9 out of 33 in the pinch.
Slider, and he checks his swing. 2-2 to Kotsay, who's 35 years old. First round pick of Florida in '96 from Cal State Fullerton. He won some big awards in college, the Golden Spikes Award, the Rotary Smith Award. He was an Olympic player. Foul tip, strikeout. And in the 8th inning, the Brewers add to their lead. 2 runs, 2 hits, and a man left. Now going to the last of the 8th. Milwaukee's up 5-2.
Charles Davis bring you all the action beginning in Norman, Oklahoma. That's where the #1 ranked Sooners host the upset-minded in-state rival Tulsa Golden Hurricane. The FX College Football Game of the Week presented by Russell Athletic begins Saturday, 7 p.m. Central in high definition only on FX. And be sure to go to foxsports.com to check out Charles Davis's preseason power rankings. You may have to think about the Baylor Bears after the way they're taking care of TCU tonight.
Well, that's a thought. They are running up points early. Here's Mark Kotsay. Greg alerted us to this. He struck out to end the top of the 8th inning. He was mad at himself for that. And yelling at himself. And then Quintero was the recipient of the apology to Kotsay, who wasn't saying anything to Q. He was just mad at himself.
I thought he was saying, I told you not to pitch me up there. Told you I can't hit that.
This sport. It's a tough one mentally. K-Rod, Francisco Rodriguez comes in. And he's usually the 8th inning man to hold on to a lead. Greg Counsell's the shortstop. He pinch ran for Betancourt. It's Brian Bogasevic, who's 2 for 3. Taking ball one from Francisco Rodriguez.
Fastball there, but you cannot sit fastball against Rodriguez. He throws a lot of curveballs and changeups.
He switched in midstream with the Mets. He was a closer, now a setup man. Fastball there for a strike. Jordan Lyles warming up for Houston. K-Rod last pitched on Sunday against the Cubs, 1/3 of an inning. That violent delivery. Foul ball makes it 1-2. Really jumps at the hitter. Well, the Brewers picked him up with an early stretch drive trade from the Mets. He and Cash came from New York for 2 players to be named on July 12th. Lucas Harrell was in a position to be a winning pitcher tonight. Wound up with a no decision, going 5 1/3, giving up 3 hits, no runs. Still on the bench. Still getting to know his teammates.
Despite the fact that the win is no longer his. Still having a little fun down there, enjoying being back in the big leagues. Had a couple of cups of coffee with the White Sox in each of the last 2 seasons. This is a fun team to play on if you're a young guy. Boy, you come here and there's so many players in the same boat as you. Any number of guys trying to establish themselves in the big leagues.
Strikeout for K-Rod. Number 8.
Yeah, that changeup against left-handed hitters is probably his best weapon.
It gives you all that motion.
Yeah. It reminds me of shooter Beck, Rod Beck, especially later in Beck's career when he'd lost his fastball, but he'd still, give you that big arm swing and then come flying off the mound and throw you that splitter at about 79 miles an hour.
Jimmy Paredes is 1 for 2 with an RBI and a sac bunt tonight. Strike one at 90, so the fastball no longer in the range where it used to be for K-Rod, and certainly, as guys age, this happens. He's 29, but he used to throw much harder than this. He's 24th on the all-time save list, but he compensates with that off-speed stuff you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You don't have to throw 95. If you have a very good changeup and a good breaking ball, 90's enough.
He's getting close to 600 career appearances in the majors. 2 balls, 1 strike, and as a former closer, the Brewers adding him to John Axford, who's now an established closer, and they in effect have a couple of guys who can really close things out if they have a lead after 7. That's over shortstop, out into left center field. Sharp hit for Paredes, his 2nd of the night. And then with Saito, who usually gets the 7th inning, was Hawkins tonight. They're well fixed in the bullpen. Except for maybe that left-hander you talked about earlier. Clint Barmas has a night going, a walk and a pair of doubles. An RBI on the 1st and the 4th inning when the Astros took a 2-0 lead. Astros have the edge on the Brewers in hits, 10-8. Red Wallace is on deck. There's ball 1. Quintero is due up next. But the lefty hitting Wallace is getting ready. And then the pitcher's spot would follow if the Astros keep the inning going. We have Lyles warming up in the bullpen. Barmas takes, and it's 2-0. So if Clint can reach, then the potential tying run comes up, and Wallace is the remaining left-handed pinch hitter, other than switch hitting catcher Carlos Corporan on the bench tonight for Brad Mills. Closer for the Brewers, John Axford, is on a run of saves. Strike makes it 2-1. He's converted 37 in a row. Rodriguez came up with the Angels. They signed him in '98. He's from Caracas, Venezuela. Ground ball, and McGee goes to second. Here's the turn. What a turn it was from Hairston on a 5-4-3 double play to end the Astros' eighth. Hairston on that pivot very quick on the feed from McGee. And we move to the ninth inning. The Brewers are up 5-2.
Brokaw for Boys in the Hall and hear the personal stories of some of baseball's greatest legends. This week it's Bob Feller. Boys in the Hall, Sundays, presented by Subway Restaurants, where winners eat.
All right, we'll go hang out with some winners. Jordan Lyles comes out of the bullpen. He had been a starter, as you know, was sent back because of the innings limitation, and now he comes in relief to get a few more appearances to round out the season. JD.
You see the numbers on Jordan, and they don't really jump out at you. 2-7 with an ERA above 5 for 15 starts here in Houston, but he really did some good things. Had a number of very good starts. So despite those numbers, I think a real positive first year for Jordan Lyles. Been very impressive with his approach to pitching, his knowledge, the way he handles himself out there.
That's ball one to Corey Hart. David Carpenter in 1 1/3 innings allowed 3 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 1 strikeout, 1 wild pitch. 2-0.
Just 3 1/3 innings of work down in the minor leagues after being optioned to Oklahoma City.
That was on the 21st of August. And he just returned today. It's a September call-up. 2 balls and a strike. Jordan is at 152 innings now total for the year. He'll be capped at about 170, they say. In the air, foul, and out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Astros have Quintero, the pitcher spot, and Schaefer due up in the last of the ninth. Lyles gets a swing and a foul tip, strikeout. 1 out. Strikeout number 7 for Astros pitching.
Just a little late sink there. Beats Corey Hart. 3rd time he's punched out tonight.
Lyles started a game at Milwaukee July 29th and pitched well, but lost it, giving up 2 runs in 6 innings. The Astros were shut out that night by Randy Wolf. Nigel Morgan looks at ball 1. Morgan singled in the 6th. He walked and scored in the 7th. 1-1. Boy, you go back over that 7th inning, and there were a lot of close things that added up to the 3 runs for Milwaukee. And Morgan's walk was one of those. He had fouled off several pitches. The count was 3-2. And he worked his way on to load the bases for Braun, who followed with a 2-run single. Earlier there was that foul pop that hit the roof, and that was followed by a single. John Axford warming up. That one hit him. And Morgan is on. 1 out. Drilled by the pitch.
Yeah, the Corey Hart base hit, dropping just in front of Jordan Schaefer out there in center. But that's the nature of the game. It happens. Trying to crowd Morgan. A guy who likes to punch the ball the other way, so you got to do your work inside on him.
Narveson and Norris tomorrow night here on My 20 at 6 o'clock. Markham and Rodriguez at 1 o'clock Sunday. And then the Astros hit the road for a week. When they come back, they'll meet the Phillies. But Norris had a tremendous game in San Francisco. Braun with a 2-run single in 4 trips. And point being, here you have a club in Milwaukee with an 81-57 record. And Houston had 47-90. There are still so many games at this level, no matter what the records of the clubs. There's a tipping point. There may be a few plays here and there that might really decide a close game. There's ball one.
That was kind of the conversation I had while I did a radio show in San Francisco. The guys asked me, why are the Astros playing the Giants so well? I said, well, it's just the nature of baseball. A bad team can rise up and beat a good team in a short series.
True.
Certainly on any given night.
Well, you might say, well, looking back over the scorecard, if you've had one tonight, the Astros left a couple men on in the second. They had bases loaded. One out there. And 2 men were in scoring position in the third, so had they scored more runs there, they could have overcome the Milwaukee 7th inning. You can go back through the scorecard of many a major league game and make those claims. That's just the way things work out quite often. Quintero dropped the ball as he drew his arm back, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Fielders on deck. That's why this sport is one that so many people like so much, with a 162 game season. Well, those little things, can add up. As you see Axford in the bullpen, they might beat you on a given night, but over the course of that many games, you're not going to claim that bad luck cost you something.
Right. The cream rises to the top.
.3-0 now for Lyles. Jordan first came up from the minors in late May. Went into the Astros rotation. That's a strike. It's 3-1.
That's the other thing about baseball. It's such a long season and it's played virtually every day. You kind of forget that Nelson Figueroa was even here so long ago that Figgy was on the club.
Really was. Yeah. He was the number 5 starter when the season opened. Strike. That's a quality pitch, and it's 3-2.
Dana DeMuth, who's been pretty tight all night long, opened it up a little bit there on his 3-1 to Braun.
Yep. Now full count, and Morgan has his lead at first.
Guess when you're about 3.5 hours into a 5-2 game, it might be time to open it up.
Morgan goes. Line drive to left. That's a hit in front of Martinez. He'll throw into third base. Morgan, at the glove of Paredes, will get up and come home. Now Lyles goes to the plate, but the ball is still loose, and the Brewers score again to make it 6-2. Paredes failing to handle that one-hop throw from Martinez to third base, and then the ball was rattling around near the Milwaukee on-deck circle. He got caught in between on the hops.
Yeah, you get a good look at it here. You see Morgan going with the pitch, so he's going to go all the way to third base. JD's got a shot at him. Very difficult hop to handle. Paredes cannot. Jordan Lyles not in the best of positions to back up there, so he can't make a play on the ball, and that allows Morgan to come all the way around to score.
Morgan forcing things with his speed. Then he popped up very quickly and came home. As Braun wound up at second, and now a fly ball by Fielder backs up Martinez. into the well in left field, and that one slices back and winds up in the seats. It looked like Martinez might have a shot at it, but it must have been slicing, and it wound up a 2-run homer in the Landry's Crawford boxes. And that's Fielder's 31st long ball of the year. It's his 4th hit of the night, giving him 105 runs batted in.
6th home run against the Astros this year. After being swept at home by the Cardinals, the Brewers respond. But this is, again, he hit that double down the left field line earlier. This time, in a lot of ballparks, this is just a routine fly ball out. And there's a little bit of slicing action. Takes it right off that railing.
Now McGee looks at strike one. He hit the 2-run homer in the 8th inning. That made it 5-2. The Brewers with a couple of long balls tonight at 152 for the season. It's 1-1. Lyles is pitcher number 6 for Houston. Craig Counsell's on deck. 2 balls, 1 strike. And it's foul back.
Prince playing his big power fade, moving that ball right back into the middle of the fairway.
He sure did. Well, Martinez went back along the wall, looked as if he might have a shot at catching it, or maybe it would glance off the top of that wall back toward the bullpen. He's had a big night. Started the night hitting .292. He's gone 4 for 4. A couple of extra base hits. Here's Martinez heading back for it. And the ball finds the seats. Changeup works for Lyles, and he strikes out McGee. 2 outs.
Yeah, very good let up here. McGee's way out in front.
Craig Counsell bats for the first time tonight. Flashes one, and it's caught by Carlos Lee to end the Brewers' ninth. They come up with 3 runs on 2 hits with an error. And moving to the bottom of the ninth, it's 8-2 Milwaukee. At the bat in the bottom of the ninth inning, Carlos Gomez has come in to play center field. He's back from a broken collarbone, and the plans are to platoon him in center with Nyjer Morgan. John Axford with 40 saves and 42 opportunities is 2-2. He was warming up, and even though this is not a save situation, the Brewers are going to bring him on in this game.
Seemed to be a little overqualified for this 8-2 ball game, but having just been swept by the Cardinals, probably has not had much work lately. So the big hard-throwing right-hander from Canisius College will come into the ball game with a really nice year going. 40 saves and 42 tries and a 2.30 ERA. Power guy, 96-mile-an-hour fastball among his weapons. Also has a slider and a curve.
Nigel Morgan has moved over to right field. With Corey Hart checking out of the game after going 1 for 5. And it's Humberto Quintero to lead it off. He's 0 for 3. Brett Wallace is on deck with a pitcher's spot to follow. That's foul away, strike 1. Francisco Rodriguez in 1 inning allowed 1 hit, no runs. He had no walks and 1 strikeout. Wallace will pinch hit for Lyles now. Axford, 28 years old, from Canada. Signed with the Yankees as a free agent in 06. Foul tip there makes it 0-2. Milwaukee picked him up as a free agent in 08. Wound up with 24 saves last year and 27 tries as he took over for the retired Trevor Hoffman as the Brewers closer. And Hoffman helped to train him. Still 0-2. That's worked out very well. The Astros bench, they'd love to see Quintero get on and get something going. Each club with 10 hits and 1 error tonight. Milwaukee has come on like gangbusters in the late innings. 3 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, 3 in the 9th tonight. Out into center field, Gomez. 1 out.
And while they've done that, the Reds have done the same in St. Louis, and they beat the Cardinals 11-8.
The Brewers will be loving that score. The Brewers will take their lead back to 8.5 if they can finish this game with a win. Brett Wallace, 268, 4 homers, 26 runs batted in. Is a pinch hitter now for Jordan Lyles. When Brett was sent to Oklahoma City, he was 0 for his last 17 after being the opening day first baseman this year, appearing in 101 games. For the Redhawks, he hit .356, 37 hits and 104 at bats with a .437 on base average, 10 doubles, 1 homer, and 24 runs batted in. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Takes it, and it's 3-0 for Axford. Jose Arredondo won that game for Cincinnati 11-8 in St. Louis. The loser was Mark Zepchinski. Matt Holliday added his 21st home run to the others we talked about. It's 3-1 now to Wallace. So after the Cardinals whacked 3 games off the Brewers' lead, Milwaukee turning things around the other way tonight. Fouled away. 3-2 after this series. The Brewers and Cardinals get another shot at each other. And then it's Philadelphia versus Milwaukee. So a challenging stretch ahead for the Brewers, who are 81-57. Lyles in 1 inning allowed 2 hits, 3 runs. That's a strike. And Wallace is caught looking. Looked like a high strike. Round number 2.
Fox Tracks had it in the zone. Dana DeMuth had it in the zone.
Have to go with that. Schaefer doubled in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 4. Axford delivers, and there's strike one. Dodgers beat Atlanta 8-6 in Atlanta. Chi Kuo got that win. Bobby Guerra save number 14. Big cut there by Schaefer. It's 0-2. Dan Uggla hit his 31st tonight for the losing Braves. The Brewers with a win tonight would be 5-2 here at Minute Maid Park this season. They have struggled over the years in this ballpark. 1-2 the count. They're 33-57 at Minute Maid Park. And they were 4-12 at the Astrodome, but this year things have gone their way more often than not. Brad Mills' club had a 2-0 lead going to the 7th inning. It's 2-2.
That bullpen couldn't hold down the Brewer lineup, and the Astros have only had one base runner since the 6th inning. It was the Paredes one-out single in the 8th, and he was immediately erased in that inning-ending double play off the bat of Clint Barmas.
Foul ball. The Brewers have 6 straight wins over the Astros. They swept the series here August 5th through the 7th, and they swept the series in Milwaukee in late July. And you may recall in that game, it was the trade deadline, and Hunter Pence started the game, was pulled out, and informed that he had been traded to the Philadelphia Phillies. Axford strikes out Schaefer, and that ends the game as Milwaukee stops its 3-game losing streak and also halts the Astros' 4-game winning streak. Ron Renicke's club improves its lead over the Cardinals to 8.5. Greinke 14-5. Rodriguez 1-6. Final score: Milwaukee 8, Houston 2.